Iranian now looking to work something in Nevaza, but deciding against that. Both fighters stand back up, and the Portuguese referee Eduardo Garcia brings them back to the middle, has them ready to take a grip. The Brazilian Tenorio glistening with sweat from his exertions. 2 minutes 54 seconds left to go. Still that single Yuko the lead to Tenorio of Brazil. And now they're ready, and the referee calls Hajime, and we get back underway with the Iranian trying to stand Tenorio up, looking to attack him there with Ojigari, but not with any real seriousness, and certainly no result. Tenorio with a rather weak-looking left-sided drop Serenagi, and Alizadeh steps round that to his left and avoids that quite easily, and with the contact broken, the referee calls mate, stands both fighters back up and brings them to the middle again, where they begin to, and it was that weak that he's picked up a drop for it, and it's been that poor with attacks that Alizadeh has picked up a passivity warning, which has Tenorio quite bizarrely being warned but going ahead. So that's the way that worked. So Alizadeh got a Yuko on the board, Tenorio has Wazari on the board, and it's all from penalties, and this is not the prettiest of contests. 2.5 minutes left to go, just a little over, and the referee just wants to get them started and underway again. He's trying to make sure that there's isn't anything too strong with the grips before he calls Hajime, and when he's ready he'll get them going. He is now, and Hajime is called with 2:30 odd left on the clock now, and we are going again, this time with Alizadeh needing to get going because he trails here by Wazari. The fighters are moving quite smoothly but rigidly, and that makes it difficult to get any fluency in the attacks. The Iranian shaped for an Uchimata there, but that strong left arm of Tenorio is keeping out the right-sided attack from Alizadeh, and that was another poor effort, really, to be honest, from Tenorio. Not sure that he's going to avoid getting away with a drop there. I haven't seen the signal from the corner judges. Maybe they're going to let that one go with 1 minute and 53 seconds left to go, and the referee brings both fighters together. He's got the hands up now and ready to get them to settle on a grip, and when he's got them standing nice and upright, he'll call Hajime, which he does now with 1 minute and 52 seconds left on the board, and we're back underway with the Iranian again looking for an opening. This time the Brazilian's got his hands a little bit closer up and the elbows bent, and Hamid Alizadeh looks for an opening with his right hand going higher up on the lapel, up towards almost the collar of Tenorio, but he can't make anything work from it. Trying to have a go at Samashi but that isn't successful because he's not really moving his opponent. He's just picking away at his legs. There's just over 1 minute left to go here. No real turn or movement from Hamid Alizadeh, and he can't generate anything. Yeah. The referee has called mate. He's brought his corner judges in to determine what he should do about this. If he penalises both of them, then Tenorio will win. That's the way it worked last time when he called mate. I suspect that he would penalise Hamid Alizadeh, yeah, as well. and that would gift the contest to Tenorio. So Tenorio it is who takes the bronze medal. Yeah, they didn't want to get involved in a real fight, and as a result, the referee brought that contest to an end. Consulted the judges, and I suspect that what was said was, look, you know, they're both as bad as each other today. What can we do? And they decided to give both fighters a penalty, but Alizadeh, having already been penalised 3 times before, that put him out of the contest. Tenorio it is who medals here in London, having medalled in Beijing. Take the second of the bronze medals. Bronze medalists are Tenorio and Fedim of Russia. The Brazilian leaves the arena, and presumably for the last time as a Paralympian, having now won 5 Paralympic medals. Atlanta, Sydney, Athens, Beijing and London. 70 kilo category fighters coming into the arena for their bronze medal matches. And the contest that we're going to be seeing on mat number 1 is Zubida Bouazouk of Algeria, and her Brazilian opponent is Diane Silva de Almeida. The fighters make their way up the ramp. Bouazouk was escorted onto the mat. This is Celine Manzulli. I don't know why I said Silva de Almeida, but beg your pardon, that was my fault. Manzulli lost her semi-final to Nazanakin of Turkey. That put her in the bronze medal match. That was my mistake there. Be getting underway in a moment after they take hold, and it'll be Bouazouk in the white judogi, the shorter of the two, and Celine Manzuoli in blue. And Manzuoli is having to defend here early on as the Algerian attacks left-sided and attempts to turn her opponent over onto her back and apply an Osai Waza, but didn't quite have sufficient enough strength to get Manzuoli over. And the referee called Pate, and they've he stands them back up. They're back in the middle and taking hold now. And when he's ready, we'll call Hajimi and we'll get back underway. On mat number 2, I'll let you know about the second of the bronze medal matches in a moment. The Algerian again going left-sided and looking to attack Manzuoli. Can't come up with a throwing technique to bring her over yet. Yes, she does now. That's Yuko Makikomi it was that's brought her down, and if she's just careful with the top half of the body, she can go into Osai Komi here. I think that might be good. Manzuoli can't get off her back, and if she can't get off her back, then that's Osai Komi. Needs to push her a little bit further. You can't. Couldn't quite get her onto her back. Couldn't quite get Manzuoli onto her back, but the Yuko is the score. The contest on mat number 2, the other bronze medal match, is Irina Kalyanova of Russia, and she faces Diane Silva. de Almeida. That's who I'd mentioned earlier and had her on the wrong map, sort of name down on the sheet, but she's over on map number 2, and she leads by Wazari with 4 minutes left in that contest. Well, we're underway again, and left-sided attempt. Koshiguruma again from Buazu. She scored with Makikomi last time. Started off from that position and then just slipped the arm over and managed to bring her opponent down. This time she doesn't, and there's 3 minutes 57 seconds left on the clock. There's plenty of time for this contest to develop. We'll see where it goes, whether Manzuoli will come up and attack. She picks up the passivity warning, and the referee indicates that by rolling his hands over and around themselves, and then takes hold of Manzuoli's hands and does a similar action, so that she's aware that she's been given a passivity warning, and this should galvanize her into action. But there's another Koshiguruma attempt there from the shorter Algerian Zubida Bouazou, but it doesn't score, and now she has to defend in Nevaza as Manzuoli attempts to turn her opponent over, but without any success, and the referee calls mate, stands the two of them up, and they come back to the middle of the mat, where the referee gets them to take a hold again. 3 minutes 38 on the clock. Now they're ready, and the referee calls Hajime, and we're back underway with the Algerian leading by that single Yuko. Got to be careful. Now she attacks that leg. She tries the Makikomi again, and this time it works for Wazari. That was a much better score, and if she can just turn onto her front instead of pushing on the back, that'll be much better for her. She needs to turn the legs. The legs are the wrong way round. That's unfortunate. She just doesn't feel strong enough to do that. She's really just freezing things there. I don't think he's going to call Osai Komi from there. No, he calls mate instead. Well, it's easy for me to say from here. She probably didn't feel that she was in the best position or strong enough to do that, but she leads now by Wazari. Determined, really determined effort there at Makikomi. And scores Wazari. So that's the lead for Bouazug over Manzuoli. Manzuoli's going to have to get going. There's plenty of time, but she doesn't want to get thrown again, and Bouazug looks like the kind of fighter that's not going to stop until she's thrown again. Here she goes again, left-sided. It's worked for her on a few occasions, that Makikomi, so she's going to keep trying it. There she goes again. It's slow and rather deliberate, and Manzuoli can see it coming, but she can't stop it. And Manzuoli hasn't been able to work anything in Nevaza either, so it's likely that the referee will call mate and get the fighters to come back to the middle. On mat number 2, Irina Kalyanova of Russia trails Diana Silva de Almeida by Wazari with 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left in that contest. Well, the referee on map number 1 has got the fighters to come back to the center, where they'll take a grip, and the fighters we're talking about Zubida Bouazug of Algeria and Céline Manzuoli of France. There's 2 minutes and 39 seconds left in this contest. Both fighters in the middle of the mat now, and the referee calls Hajime, and we get back underway with Bouazug attempting another Makikomi, but that fails, and she collapses onto her front, and Manzuoli decides not to get involved in any Nevaza. She stands up and finds her own way back to her start position. The referee just making sure that she knows exactly where she is, and just takes a hold of her before issuing a passivity warning, which adds to her woes, because there's now another Yuko on the board, a Wazari and 2 Yukos. on the board there. And the referee is ready to get the fighter started. He calls Hajime, and we're back underway with 2:20 odd left on the clock. The fighters are bent over. We've seen Buazug attempting that left-sided Makikomi, which he does again. She tries a Ojigari, but it's unsuccessful, and although Manzuoli comes down on her front, it's well, on her side, but it wasn't Buazug who had anything to do with that effort. This is the action we were talking about.
And they're away cleanly.
Well, they have decided to give it a Yuko. It's already on the board then. Just over 2 minutes left to go. Well, both contests ended exactly at the same time there, with Wazari being scored on both contests. Kalyanova of Russia throwing Diane Silva, and Buazug throwing Manzuoli. Kalyanova takes it on mat 2, and on mat 1 Buazug of Algeria takes that bronze medal. She's worked
world record in the field, and now a world record on the track. And there he is, a very, very happy man, Jason Smith of Ireland, just 25 years of age, in the T13 category 100 metres.
So in Beijing, we'll just reflect back for him. He won the 100 metres in 10:62 to take the gold in Beijing. So now he's got the double, faster by just under 0.2 of a second. He also took out the 200 metres with a time of 21.43 in both world record times. So it looks like he is in shape to repeat his success in Beijing in 2008.
And we're right to call him the fastest Paralympian on the planet.
We are. No other Paralympian has ever run faster.
And actually no one's ever run faster than that now. He's faster than Jason Smith yesterday, because
that's right.
Jason Smith today is the fastest Paralympian on the planet. And he's from Londonderry, which is actually in Northern Ireland, but he represents the Republic of Ireland. And I'm sure they'll be raising a few glasses of the black stuff to him tonight, because what a fantastic... That's the fastest we've ever seen a Paralympian run.
History
in the 100
making.
metres.
Yes, we've just seen history. And this is what we're going to see time and time over again at this Paralympic Games, as we're getting so much more media and people watching, and London and GB are just doing an incredible job with these games, that athletes are able to train professionally. They're able to earn an income and to train as non-disabled athletes do, and that's why we're seeing records broken, and times like 10:46 is incredible.
It is actually, when you think about 10:46. I mean, that is just a phenomenally fast run. I mean, and the other guys very, very close, weren't they? I mean,
well, what are we going to do there? We've got equal time for bronze.
11:03,
11:03.
Well, it's not for me to decide. I'll tell you what will happen is they will decide.
That's right.
And I will enhance it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, in some events you get 2 bronzes, don't you? But sometimes when people get given the same time, they then go to that very stretchy photo, don't they?
Exactly
and
right.
Whoever's chest has crossed the line first will be what happens. But I tell you what, if you got the same time as someone who got a medal and you came fourth, you'd be furious, wouldn't you?
You would be absolutely furious.
Because you go back to your family and you say, well, I got the same time,
exactly.
and they gave it to somebody else because they stuck their chest out a bit further.
So we've just got the women's club victory ceremony for F31, 32 and 51. Big roar from her home crowd. She looks like she's got tears in her eyes. What an amazing moment for her.
80,000 in that crowd, and obviously a lot of them will be British and be absolutely delighted with that medal. What was the largest crowd you ever performed in front of?
Sydney, about 70,000.
All right.
So it is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. You can't
and you'll
hear too much, but when it's your home crowd...
That's what I was going to say. That would be a home crowd view, and so you'll know exactly how Gemma Prescott's feeling.
You can just see it, can't you?
Bronze in the women's club throw. Silver for Algeria. This is the medal ceremony for the women's club throw. Bronze for Great Britain, silver for Algeria.
And again, a combined class of F31, 32 and 51. Hence why we're seeing people standing and also in chairs.
And she's absolutely delighted.
Yes.
You said you've still got your flag. Did you still got your flowers?
I do still have my flowers.
They can't still be alive,
They are. They're dried, and lucky enough, the Australian government let us quarantine them. They took them home for us, put them through quarantine. I've still got my Athens, what do we call it?
Headband?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just...
The olive leaves.
Interpreting your mind. Oh, the laurel wreath.
Yes, the wreath.
Yeah.
I've still got... This is my favourite. And here we go. What a moment.
Tunisia getting the gold, the women's club throw.
Aren't those? I haven't seen a medal up close, but they look amazing.
Very heavy. Everyone always says they're heavy.
They are. Very heavy.
And one thing I do know is whenever you see someone with a medal on, they always have to bite it, don't they? Why do they do that? Because it's only going to hurt your teeth, isn't it?
That's right. She hasn't.
No, she hasn't done that. But at some point there'll be a photograph taken, and she'll be under enormous pressure to bite it.
The national anthem of Tunisia.
So here we are, the Tunisian anthem for the women's club throw. She had a little wobble, didn't she? But she just kept herself in check. I like it when they cry.
Yeah. You can see that emotion. It's a time you'll never forget that moment. It's hard to explain when you get to experience that, to hear your national anthem and to see your flag go up for your country. It is something that is very, very special.
So you had 3 gold, so you heard your anthem 3 times, but there will have been some other times when you got silver and bronze, when you were up there, but you didn't get to hear your anthem. Now, did that spoil it a bit?
Yes, particularly when you're going for gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic to be on the dais. For me, when I won silver or lost gold, I didn't run PBs, and for me, I suppose that's always, if you'd run PBs to win silver, you've got to be happy. But for me, in Sydney, I felt like I probably just didn't get what I was looking for. So I won gold in Atlanta. It took me 8 years to get back to that gold medal level again. And I tell you what, in Athens, when I was in that position,
what anthem
was special.
What anthem was played that day in Athens when you didn't win?
No, when I won again. So no, when I lost gold in Sydney,
Yeah.
it was the Australian national anthem, but it wasn't for me.
Okay.
I have very strong competitors from Australia, and yes. We're looking now back at the men's javelin.
At least it was your tune, though. It wasn't for you, but you could at least, it wasn't another country's.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was one in our T38 women's 200 metres. There was 3 Australians on the dais, and you don't see this very often in sport where there's 3 people from one country on the dais.
So we're watching Kamal Karjina of Algeria, competitor 2013. He's 31 years of age. He's an F33. And his best throw so far, 26.4. Just up there, which is, would you believe it, another world record. That's his 3rd throw of the night. He started with 25.36, then 24.10, and then 26.40 for 1,001 points, which is a world record in the F33 category in the men's javelin.
Gee, they're doing good. When we're looking at the results here, Paralympic record, personal best, world record, regional record, personal best, personal best. We can't say these guys are underperforming, can we? They're showing what needs to be done and should be done at an event like this. Every athlete just wants to get a PB as a starting point, and then you never know from there.
And you're obviously so enthusiastic about the Paralympics, but I think everyone is now really on board with them, aren't they? And it seems to me that more and more records are being set because people are, better and better competitors are more attracted to do the sport.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And look at that. That's a special shot of the crowd. When people want to come and watch our sport is a very special moment. And when you do get crowds like this and you get the support, it filters down to the athletes. They're able to train like professional athletes. And that's what makes the difference. I know in my career, in the early days, I had to study full-time or work full-time and try and train like a professional athlete, and it was really tough. One of the reasons why I did win silver in Sydney was because I was studying full-time at university at the same time as trying to win gold, and it just doesn't work.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, next we have the victory ceremony for the men's shot put, F54, 55 and 56.
So another victory ceremony, this time for the men's shot put. F54, 55 and 56. And here they come, and you'll tell from the roar that there's a Brit. Now these 3 are real characters. Look how they're really milking the crowd. Sometimes you see people almost sheepishly going up there, but these 3, I mean, shot putters are quite often characters, aren't they? Larger than life people.
Particularly, and these guys are the strong boys of the sport. The similar classifications will compete on the track. They're, look at them, they're big guys, aren't they? Powerful, strong.
The medals today will be presented by Mr. Ali Hazala, Governing Board Member of the International Paralympic Committee, who's accompanied by Mr. Sean Dawson, the Chief Executive of Lee Valley Park.
Lee Valley Park, part of the area where the Olympic Park is situated. And listen to this. He's a happy chappy. Now he just looks like the sort of bloke you could meet down the pub. Oh, he's doing the Usain Bolt, and he just looks like a real regular guy you could have a beer with and a good old natter with. Look at him.
That's right.
He's delighted.
I've got goosebumps sitting here watching this, and in fact, even yesterday I was sitting in the stadium. There you go. It's not gold, but it's bronze. You're right.
It might be a British thing. It might be a British.
No, it's not.
I think we're suspicious people by nature, and we're just checking that they haven't given us one with, chocolate in, with foil on the outside. Well done, Robin Womack. bronze in the men's shot put for
Girls, the silver medalist
54, 55,
representing
56.
Poland, Carol Kozan.
And Poland getting the silver. Getting a big cheer. And it's good that we get the medal ceremonies from earlier events, and they get to receive their medals in front of big audiences, always in the evening.
Well, there's big audiences in the morning too, isn't there? And that's the great thing. They do schedule them for the evening, but you're right. It's wonderful that they can come back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because for these guys, it might be their only event. They might also compete maybe in discus or javelin, but it could be their only event. This might be it.
Yeah. No, I think it's great that they'll compete in the morning, win the gold, and then in the evening they get to come back. It's almost like a party. I always think they're better in the evening than the ceremonies. I don't know why.
I never experienced this. I always had my races at 8, 9 o'clock at night, so you got your medal within half an hour.
Yeah.
It must be an interesting feeling knowing you won gold, go back to the village.
Yeah.
There you go. You're right again.
He's nibbling it.
It is real.
I wonder if this is a British phenomenon that we're sending around the world. What did you pick up in London? Oh, I learned that they like to bite the medals.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
The men's shot put medalists in F54, 55 and 56. Iran getting the gold, silver for Poland and bronze for Great Britain. Now we've got some great track events coming up. I know you're particularly looking forward to the women's 100 metres T44 round one.
There's some really good 100 metres tonight. I'm looking forward to all of them actually. But you're right, we've got the women's T44 100 coming up. At the same time, we know the Javelin's still going on behind the scenes for the F33, F34 class.
And of course tonight, we've seen Jason Smith of Ireland already set a new world record, fastest Paralympian ever. We've got Oscar Pistorius of South Africa coming up later, and top Aussie as well, Evan O'Hanlon.
We have. It's a fantastic night.
Yeah.
I think the whole world is waiting for Oscar Pistorius to set foot on that track and see how fast he can go. But it's not the final, so he might just take it easy, just make sure he does what he needs to do.
Yeah.
The women's 100 T44.
So they're now
round one, heat one,
going to be announced. Just letting the shot put people clear. So just a reminder, April Holmes of the US holds not only the Paralympic record but also the world record.
Fantastic runner.
Yeah.
She's been around for most of the games that I went to, so she Beijing 2008 was the gold medalist for this event.
So there you can see the lineup: Wang Zhuan of China, Suzanne Virgin of Netherlands, Sophie Kamlish of Great Britain, Maya Nakanishi of Japan, Catherine Green of Germany, and Marie-Amélie Lefleur of France. And here's the roar for the British competitor, Sophie Kamlish. Just 16 years of age.
Now we're not getting the full shot here, but for the people that are not sure what a 44 is, it's a below knee amputee. As they expand out to the full shot, we will see their prosthetic legs, but we've got close-ups here.
And the camera just picking out a couple of competitors there. The British competitor, obviously, because it would be a crowd pleaser, and Marie-Amélie Lefleur who has a PB of 13.15, and so she would be the favourite to win this race.
She is a favourite, and she's a very good long jumper, and I think she has a long jump final tomorrow. Warm up for her tonight.
So lane 8, the one to watch for, Marie-Amélie Lefeur of France, 23 years old, T44 competitor. Now you can see the below the leg amputee, lane 8. And once again, it's that very, very tense moment. And they do a very good job of hushing up the crowd.
The crowd, very respectful.
So here we are, the women's 100 metres, T44, round 1, heat 1. We're expecting lane 8, Marie-Amélie Lefeur of France, to do well here. And off they go, and lane 8 is away very well indeed, but Wang Zhuan of China going well as well in lane 3. It's between those two. The French girl's ahead, the Chinese girl falling away a little bit at the moment. Catherine Green of Germany is coming in for second. So it's France, then Germany, then China.
A time of 13.4. Good warm-up for the girls. And for most of the athletes, this will be their first time out on the track. So just to have that hit out, to get rid of those nerves, they'll be feeling a whole lot better to head into the finals.
So the qualifying time's just coming in. Marie-Amélie Lefeur, 13.4. Catherine Green of Germany with the season's best, 13.63. Those qualifiers. From that, we'll run through the other times as they do them. The way it works at the Olympic Stadium in the Paralympics is that they do them line by line. So Wang Zhuan of China, 13.88. That's a PB for her, and that's good enough also for her to qualify. Sophie Camlish, the 16-year-old Briton, 14.11. So she won't qualify with that time.
And very still conditions. The wind nearly at neutral. So the girls are able to put out some decent times. It'd be nice to have a tailwind, but it's still, at least it's not a strong headwind.
Absolutely.
And a fast track.
Yeah. Do you prefer a little bit of tailwind?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
If you can get a reading of 1.99, that's the perfect tailwind.
And that's the fastest you can have without it affecting a record,
that's
is
right.
it?
Under 2 metres per second. That's what you want. And here we go. Looks like April Holmes, I'm guessing, from the back. In heat 2, we haven't seen the start list, but we'll get to the second heat.
Very impressive to spot people from behind.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I raced against her a few times, but I think I'm right there.
And
April Holmes.
And I imagine mainly the back of her.
I did, exactly.
The bit you mainly saw,
that's
was
exactly
it?
right.
Yes, that's how you know. No idea what she looks like from front.
Exactly.
She was always ahead.
She was faster than me, yes. Fantastic girl, and has been to, I'm guessing, 3. This could be her 4th.
So April Holmes, she's 39 years of age. Now everyone else in the race is in their 20s. In fact, the next oldest is 12 years younger than her. That's Steph Reed of Great Britain, who's 27. So is it... I don't know what the polite way of saying this is. Is she a little bit old to be a 100-metre runner at 39? She's obviously...
I have to be careful. Why not? Well, look, it depends what sort of training you're in, what sort of program, what support. I think as you get older, every day over 30, you're aging, aren't you? And speaking, I'm 35, but I think as you get older, you just have to be smarter. You've got the experience. You just need to make sure you get fantastic recovery. And I know April would have a great system back in America, and she's still producing some great times. But you're right, it is difficult to compete against people that are 12 years younger or half your age, and that's at the point where you need to consider when retirement. But when I'm thinking this is her 3rd, but it could potentially be her last.
So there's some quite good times here. April Holmes, her PB 13.27. So we'll just look at who might be the opposition here. Then Marlu van Rijn of Netherlands, 13.48. And then you have to look to lane 7 and lane 8 of Saki Takawaka of Japan and Steph Reed of Great Britain, who are all under 14 minutes. But there is April Holmes.
April.
That's what she looks like from the front.
Gee, never noticed, no. No, it would be great to see her again. I haven't seen her for a few games, so it would be fantastic to have a chat to her and see how it is at her age.
You're watching Paralympic Sport TV with me, Jeremy Nicholas. Katrina Webb is our expert pundit, and she's raced many times with April Holmes, and we're expecting April to qualify quite comfortably here. There's the British girl, Steph Reed, just being introduced to the crowd. Why do they wear sunglasses at night?
I did in Sydney too. It is quite glary in the stadium, and you can get some sunglasses that just take that glare a bit away. One of my coaches said to me, it's good to wear sunglasses because if your eyes are squinting, it will take some energy away from you. So if you want to try and get every bit of energy across that line,
sunglasses help.
The sunglasses help.
So this is the women's 100 metres, T44, round 1, heat 2. And the runner to watch out for really is in lane 5, April Holmes of the United States, world record holder, Paralympic record holder.
And gold medalist from Beijing.
And the current reigning champion. Girls just settling down, crowd quietening. And off they go. April Holmes in the red. And she's slightly slow getting away, but she's into her stride now. And she's absolutely flying once she does get going. But she could well get overtaken here. But I think that's because she's slowed right down because she's known she's qualified. The Dutch girl Marlu van Rijn coming past there. But April Holmes, once she knew she'd done it, she slowed right down, didn't she?
That's what you do when you get a bit older. That's called being efficient and saving your energy up for the final.
So there's the winner from the Netherlands, Marlu van Rijn. Just 20 years old. She's a T43. And she qualifies with a world record time of 13.27. Just
a world record time.
Yeah.
I was thinking a PB, but she's broken the world record.
Now that's she's obviously a T43, so she would have a different world record to April Holmes,
who we'll see later on the track.
So just to explain that the T44 is one leg, the T43 is both legs.
Exactly right. But April did considerably slow down then, so what form is she in? Which is quite exciting.
We don't know. I think that's a bit sneaky when they slow down like
exactly.
that. Exactly. She's giving nothing away.
That's
so
right.
The Dutch girl will go off now and think, oh, can't believe it, I've just beaten April Holmes. And then Holmes will come out and absolutely storm to a victory in the final because she knows how much she's held back there.
Let's hope.
Let's hope so. But the Dutch girl's very happy with that. And who wouldn't? She's qualified, she's beaten April Holmes, and she's set a new world record. That's not a bad night's work, is it?
Again, we're seeing fantastic records being broken tonight. It's a fast track, good wind conditions, and if it's the girls' first hit out, I'm sure they've got a lot of adrenaline and nerves and ready just to have a real go.
So the conditions are perfect. It seems like the whole games are perfect, really. I can't think of anything that the London Paralympics have done wrong yet. They just seem to be praise upon praise.
Well, we had the warm-up, didn't we? We had the Olympics.
Exactly.
That was the warm-up for us. All the venues were tested.
That's right. If in the UK we had this whole advertising campaign where the Paralympians said to the Olympians, thanks for the warm-up. Yeah. There were posters everywhere saying, thanks for the warm-up, which was it's a funny joke.
Yes, I've always joked about this because people will say to me, they should be together, the Games, or the Paralympics should be first, but I'm quite happy where they are because we follow on from the Olympics and the Olympics test out all the venues for us, and I just think it's perfect where it's placed. Men's triple jump. We've got happening on the screen in the background. The athletes are being called.
So this is the men's triple jump, the F46. It is a final. There's just confirmation of the qualifiers. Marlu van Rijn, April Holmes, Steph Reed and Saki Takakawa of Japan also qualifying. Those are the four that go through, but it's the Dutch girl who will be the happiest because she set the world record of 13.27, a new world record for the T43 class. So that's just a heat, but we're now just about... Oh, they're doing the Mobot. See, is that the policeman doing the security guards? And now they're doing the Usain Bolt. Fantastic. So that's the complete list of qualifiers for the women's 100 metres T44. Oh, and Sophie Kamlish of Great Britain did qualify as the fastest loser, along with the Japanese girl that we just saw in that race there.
Here we go. I'm watching the screen in the background. We have the French man doing the triple jump. He's probably the hot favourite for this. Anu. Yeah, he's fouled. He's
fouled. That's Arnaud Assoumani, 26-year-old Frenchman.
And another 100 metres coming up for the men's T35 class. They're just doing their final starts before they're told to then tracksuits off and get into your final position.
Yang Sen with the world records, 12:29, which was set at the Beijing Games.
Chinese are doing fabulous. As you've seen tonight, the Chinese running in front in quite a few of the races. We always know as athletes just to beware when we see a Chinese in our race that they've all got fabulous form and doing wonderful things in Paralympic sport.
So let's have a look at this men's 100 metres T35 start list. Jordan Howe of Great Britain. We've got Anton Bubnov of Russia. Fu Jinghan of China. South African Teboho Mogalagadi. The Argentinian Hernan Barreto. Yuri Zarek of Ukraine. And Neil Stein of Germany. Cheering in the background is for what's happening in the triple jump final. That Lu Fulang of China, 21-year-old, just jumping in the background. We'll bring you up to date with what's happening there. But there is Jordan Howe of Great Britain.
With a PB of 14:73, but qualified with the time of 13:75. So he's obviously in good shape in these games. Anton Bubnov from Russia, qualified time of 13:86.
Now we're getting to the really quick guys. As always with the finals, you'll look to the middle lanes for the quick guys. Fu Jinghan of China, 12:90. And the South African qualifying with, he's got a season's best of 13.02.
And a PB of 12:96. Let's see if he can run a PB tonight.
That's Hernan Barreto of Argentina, qualified with a time of 13:22. Just a little bit outside his season's best of 13:14. There's the Ukrainian Yuri
One to
Tsurak.
watch for, hey? Lane 7. Qualified fastest there. Looks like he'll be the hot favourite. 12:72.
12:72, which is his PB. So has he qualified? Has he done everything in qualifying? Has he left anything for the final? We shall see. Neil Steen of Germany and Alal Boukalfa of Algeria in 13:26. He qualified, which is just outside his PB of 13:24.
Should be a good race. There's some very close times there.
Absolutely. It's the Chinese going into it would have been the favourite, but the Ukrainian, as long as he hasn't done it all in the heats, we shall see what happens here. So just to pick out the runners for you, Fu Jinzhan of China in lane 4, and the Ukrainian Yuri Tsurak in lane 7.
Athletes can choose whether they want to use blocks, 3-point start or a standing start, depending on their level of their disability and what's easier for them.
So 3 of them standing and 5 of them on the blocks. Here we go. And off they go. I thought we were going to get a false start there for a minute, but we haven't. The Ukrainian is going well, as predicted. The Chinese coming back, but it's the Ukrainian that's going to win it. Yuri Tsurak absolutely storming away. The South African's going to come and take silver. That's Teboho Mogalagadi, and Fu Jinzhan of China will take the bronze. So the Ukrainian has been a bit of a surprise, I think. He's really come through at these Paralympics. And he's absolutely delighted. He's what I call a badge kisser.
Well, he's run a personal best there by 0.1 of a second. He will be ecstatic because if you win a gold medal for Ukraine at these games, I hear you get a 1-bedroom apartment.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They have a fantastic incentive scheme. His life will change.
But only the 1-bedroom.
I think it's a 1-bedroom. Hey, it's a fantastic incentive, isn't it? And
it's a fantastic incentive.
And a monetary reward as well. So we're seeing fantastic results from Ukrainians because of this wonderful reward system.
But if
look at him go.
But if he's got a family, just the 1-bedroom. But he won't be thinking about that now. He can sell it and improve his own pace. Look at him there. And he's a really natural runner, isn't he? It's phenomenal form there with his hair blowing back in the breeze. You can see he'd be a poster boy for Ukrainian Paralympic sport. You could tell that because he just looks like he's a character to me.
Well, the interesting thing is this is a cerebral palsy class, and as our athletes are training more, it's really hard to see the cerebral palsy, and because they are training professional athletes. So the person that should win should be the most trained, the most tactical, has done the work, not the person with the least disability. And you can see he's put in fantastic thousands of hours to get that result.
So confirmation that he gets the gold in a time of 12:62. Tiboho Mokgaladi of South Africa, 28-year-old, he's got the silver in 13:10, and Fu Jinhan of China, 27-year-old, with a season's best for him of 13:12. Now we're going back to the triple jump just to see. This is all happening at the same time. 1, 2.
Fantastic. Is it legal? It is.
That looked like a very good jump.
Attempt 15:15 was his first attempt.
Yeah.
And in fact, a world record. What has he done on his second
Lu Fulang
attempt? Let's wait and see. Look at that. Magnificent form. Striding through. Perfect slide away.
So 15:15, a new world record. And that actually was the jump we were seeing there. They've recorded that for us. It must have happened while we were watching the track event, and then they've just shown us it back there.
Fabulous. No, I can read. I can read what's about to happen. Don't you know my super skills I have?
I thought it was quite phenomenal the way you predicted the exact distance, and then it happened.
World records, let me tell you. He will give the Frenchman, obviously, a work tonight, producing a new world record.
So this is the American Toby Fawehenimi, and his first jump was 13:58. And just getting a replay of that 13:58 for Toby.
Beautiful technique.
And amazing how he can keep his balance in the air, obviously with having one very strong arm and one not so strong, but he keeps perfectly straight with the jumping.
So F46 is the arm amputee class, but you don't, as you can see with this athlete Toby, you don't have to have an amputation. When they classify, they look at the disability, and if they can relate it to the same functional level as an amputee, he gets to then compete in this class.
Confirmation of the men's 100 metres T35 gold for the Ukraine. South Africa getting the silver and China getting the bronze.
You'll see a lot of Ukrainians and Chinese in the medals. I can predict probably for a lot of the track events.
Do we know what kind of housing you get if you win in China? One bedroom.
Look, I know in Athens it was $100,000 US for a gold. I haven't heard but I'm sure it would be something similar. So this is life-changing moments for athletes if they're producing world records, gold medals. This is why we're seeing wonderful times, because the incentives are there.
When you won your golds, what did Australia give you?
A big smile. We don't. I think this games the Australians might get a small amount of medal incentive, but it's something that's yet to come in. We do get looked after, but as an athlete in my career, I would have made minus money.
Yeah.
And luckily I love the sport, and I did it for the pure intrinsic motivation than anything extrinsic.
So another medal on offer here. It's the women's 200 metres T36 final. Live.
And Wang Fang, I've run against Wang Fang back in Athens, fantastic runner from China, who holds a world record in this class.
World record 28.6 from 8 years ago.
8 years ago. She's obviously retired, similar to me.
It's a great name, Wang Fang.
Wang Fang, I know.
Yeah. In fact, I wish she was in the final because some of those names are harder to say than Wang Fang.
Yes.
I'll have a go, but it gets
You're
harder.
doing a great job.
It gets harder as it goes down. So in lane 2, Yu Chun Lai. Lane 3, Yuki Kato. Nadia Schaus in lane 4 of Argentina. Korean Yin Min Jae. In 5, Elena Ivanova. In 6. In 7, it's the German girl, Claudia Nikolajczyk. And the Argentinian Janina Andrea Martinez in lane 8. And Hazel Robson of Great Britain in lane 9. So this is the T36 final.
It's great to see someone from Hong Kong. We don't see many Hong Kong competitors.
We don't, do we? No. And just remind us the classification, T36.
Again, cerebral palsy. And you'll see all 4 limbs affected with this classification.
Yeah. It's Nadia of Argentina.
So again, the T stands for track, 3 stands for cerebral palsy, and the higher the number, which is the highest can be an 8, is the mildest of cerebral palsy. And as you go down, so we're at a 36 here.
And a good range of ages again, with the Argentinians just 18 years of age. But there's the Japanese competitor, 38. You get a large age range in some of these events. Now this is a final, so medals on offer. And you're watching live pictures here from the Olympic Stadium here in London, Paralympic Sport TV, with me, Jeremy Nicholas, and Katrina Webb, a triple Paralympic gold medalist herself for Australia.
And there's the big roar from the home crowd for the Great Britain, Hazel Robson.
And I obviously can't be partisan, but if I was in the crowd watching rather than commentating, I'd be cheering for her.
You can't help it. No. I must admit, I was in there last night and I was cheering for the Great Britain.
So here we go then. It's the 200 metres T36 final. And just looking at some of the PBs here, the winner will probably get it in a time of round about 30 seconds, maybe just over.
Look out for lane 6.
The Russian girl, Elena Ivanova. She's got 29.9. She's the only one of the runners that's ever been under 30 seconds. And once again, we see some standing and some on the blocks. Here we go. And they're away. The T36 final, the women's 200 metres of the Paralympics here in London.
See the Russian, she's already gaining ground. Picking up the stagger, heading into the home straight, looking good, looking in good form.
She's absolutely flying, isn't she?
She will, and she'll come down and...
no one's going to catch her.
If she looks up, she can probably see herself on the screen and see that gap that she has, but she's strong all the way through. You will see cerebral palsy. They start to tire towards the end, but fantastic, strong form over that line, 30.26.
And the Korean has got the silver medal.
And she's ecstatic.
Now, she ran that almost as though she was a 100-metre runner, and then she'll just hang on for the next 100. Because she'd won that by the bend. But then, like you say, cerebral palsy runners sometimes do get very tired towards the end of the race. And I did think the Korean girl might catch her at some point, but Elena Ivanova obviously had different ideas. And like I say, she's just over 30 seconds. 30.25 is her winning time, and a lovely smile for the new Paralympic champion.
Yes, the 200 metres, it's just flat out. You know, you try. The most important part is coming off that bend, as she did. That's where the race is won. You need to just get that momentum off the bend, go as fast as you can, and use the energy momentum so when you hit the home straight, you can just give it everything and get home. And very strong running. You will see from the Russians and the Ukrainians, they have such a great foundation that they can finish these races very strong.
And once again, someone's had to give up their flag, but I think it was someone she knew. I think it was her coach who's actually handed that to her. Look at the determination on Ivanova's face as she came round there. And then this was just the point where I thought, well, the Korean girl could catch her, but she was just tying up a little bit. But in the end, she just had far too much momentum.
Fantastic win there. 30.25 is the official time, followed by silver in 31.08 and then 31.91. So over a second in between gold and silver.
Russia gets gold, Korea gets silver, and Argentina get the bronze there. And then it's Germany, Argentina, Hong Kong, Japan, and Hazel Robson of Britain just coming in 6th spot there. So 30.25. We wondered if we might see an under 30 seconds tonight, but it's only the Russian that's done that. But she did plenty tonight just to make sure she's won that. She's absolutely delighted with that.
That's right, and I was listening to Kurt Fearnley being interviewed yesterday, and he made a comment, it doesn't matter what time, it's you want to be over that line first and take that gold medal.
Yeah. You'd always much rather have a gold medal than a world record, wouldn't you?
Exactly. You can do a world record anywhere, but every 4 years these athletes get this opportunity, and once you've won a gold medal, you've made history, and no one can ever take that away from you.
There was an interesting thing in the cycling yesterday where the bronze medalist set a new world record because he didn't do particularly well in the his race to try and get into the final, but then once he was into the bronze, he was faster than the silver and the gold. That must have been quite annoying for him. So it's the women's discus throw victory ceremony now for F11 and F12.
So again, 11 and 12 is vision impaired athletes. That's why I think we have some guides there for two of them.
Will be presented by Mr. Michael Ring, the Minister of State for Sport of Ireland, who is accompanied by Mrs. Louise Martin, CBE, the Chair of Sport Scotland.
So Michael Ring, Sports Minister for Ireland, he will have enjoyed Jason Smith's run earlier this evening. For those who weren't with us earlier, Jason Smith, fastest Paralympian alive. He set a new record in the sprint event, the 100 metres.
It's a shame that he's not presenting his medal, isn't it?
Yes, but I bet he enjoyed watching it. So bronze for Britain. It seems all the medal ceremonies tonight, Britain's getting a bronze. This is for the discus, the F11, F12. Enormous cheer, as always, for all the British medalists. It's a medal from the Irish Sports Minister, and Nelson Flowers from the Minister of Sport for Scotland. And there is Claire Williams with her bronze medal, and doesn't she look delighted about it? And Katrina, you can't see this, viewers can't see this, but Katrina smiles every time someone gets a medal. She has a smile. I don't know if she's remembering the day she got hers or if she's just happy for the people here today.
Oh, I'm just happy. I'm just really happy. I was saying before, I didn't finish my story, that when I was sitting in the track last night watching people win, I was really having to hold back a lot of emotion. I just love seeing people triumph in their sport, no matter what sport it is. When you get on the dais, you get to take home a medal for your country. It's a very special moment.
And the flowers, and you've preserved yours, and you still have them?
That's right. Yes, my wreath. We finally worked out the name from Athens. That's my favourite.
The gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing the People's Republic of China, Zhang Langmin.
So we've got gold and silver for China in the visually impaired women's discus. Great moment in any Paralympic athlete's life, this, the medal ceremony. She gets that from the Sports Minister for Ireland. And she'll get the flowers, and then we'll have the anthem of China.
Which we'll hear many a time, I'm sure. If they have got a smaller team, of course, because it isn't their home games. You do take a lot smaller team offshore, but I think it's one of I think it is their largest team that they've taken offshore before. But they'll still have wonderful results.
I don't know who wrote the Chinese anthem, but whoever they did, I hope it's still in copyright, because they'll be earning quite a bit of money every time it's played. Here it is again, the Chinese anthem. Chinese anthem there. I don't think that'll be the last time we hear it at these games. China far away leaders in the medal table as they were in the Olympic Games.
Yes, we might do a medal tally check a bit later on and let the viewers know how. I think the Chinese are still on top by quite a few.
Oh, it looks like the British girls had enough and she's just left. It's almost she decided, I've had enough now, let's go. And there we are, the women's discus, the visually impaired. And they're leaving now. And you can hear the clapping in the background, which suggests that the triple jump is warming up.
That's right. And another event on the track to come, the women's 200 metres T36 class. And again, it is another final.
So confirmation there of Elena Ivanova, 30.25 to win the gold in that 200 metres. She was absolutely stormed it.
I was just getting a bit excited because there is another women's 200 metres coming up of a T52 class, which we'll see in the not too distant future.
So got the javelin going on as well.
Yes, the F46 women's javelin final.
And this is Natalia Gudkova of Russia. Her PB is 39.13, which she did earlier this season. And that looks longer to me, because that's nearly up to the 40-metre line. Let's wait and see what it's measured. It's 39.89, which is a new world record. So it's not only her PB, it's the world PB.
Fantastic throw, 39.89 metres.
For Natalia Gudkova, 37-year-old Russian in the F46 class. And the closest anyone's got to that is Holly Arnold of Great Britain, who's thrown 30-30 so far. And everyone else has been around about the 29-28 mark. Now the men's 100 metres T13 victory ceremony is now going to take place. And this is the one we were saying that we wish the Sports Minister of Ireland could have presented. That's this because it's Jason Smith, who's the fastest Paralympian ever. Representing Ireland. He's from Londonderry in Northern Ireland, but represents the Republic, and he's absolutely flown tonight. And he's now going to get his medal, and we're going to hear the Irish anthem. 10.46, just a reminder of that world record.
Medals are going to be presented by Mr. Michael Ring.
Oh, it
I
is
wonder
him.
how they are.
It's your man. He's there.
See, I'm a good predictor, aren't I? Let's see how they did choose that bronze when we were talking about it before. The third and fourth both came in 11.03. A photo finish probably helped them to choose who our bronze medalists will be.
Yeah, Jonathan Ntutu of South Africa had the same time as Alexei Labzin of Russia, but they've given it to Ntutu of South Africa. And there he is. And you'd have to feel sorry for the Russian, who got exactly the same time, but Ntutu gets the bronze. But look how happy he is.
Yes.
Good
well,
man.
why wouldn't you be, knowing whether you're going to come third or fourth?
Yeah.
And fourth really is a hard position to come.
I should think it is, yeah. I wonder if Michael Ring, the Irish Sports Minister, he was doing the previous medal ceremony, and we thought he'd like to do Jason Smith. I wonder if he just refused to leave.
That's
said,
right.
Would it be right if I hang on and do this? It's just an Irishman's won the gold.
Oh, I wonder where the other person is that was supposed to give out this medal. Somewhere at the back, locked in a room.
Well, Jonathan's got the biggest smile of the night. That's why he's doing the lightning bolt. You need to get your own routine, Jonathan. You can't nick somebody else's. Here's Luis Felipe Gutierrez of Cuba, 24-year-old. He ran 11.02, a season's best for him.
With a PB of 10.86. But even if he ran his PB, he still wouldn't have been as close to our new world record mark of 10.46. So I'm sure he's extremely happy to be in that position.
And while he gets his flowers, now listen for the roar for the next man, because there'll be lots of Irish fans in the crowd, and the Brits will give him a big hand too. Jason Smith, fastest ever Paralympian, a time of 10.46. Have a listen to this.
Once again, the Paralympic champion, representing Ireland, Jason Smith.
Ireland's Jason Smith, 10:46, a new world record.
And this will be capturing media all over the globe. History-making moment for Paralympic sport. Fastest ever Paralympian.
And he gets it from his own sports minister, who I suspect said, I need to be there tonight because Jason's going to run the fastest time ever. And what a proud moment this will be for him. Once he gets those flowers, he'll turn to his right and hear the national anthem of the Republic of Ireland. He looks like a blubber to me. I think he might blub. What do you think? I like it when they cry. I think it shows it means something when they cry.
Well, I must admit, when Roger Federer was crying when he won the Australian Open a few years back, I think he captured the attention of the women in Australia.
And it was an absolute pleasure to be here tonight to see Jason Smith set that new world record, 10:46, fastest Paralympian ever. And now he's inviting the Cuban and the South African to come onto the block with him. Look at that extraordinary difference in size between them. Usually,
You're right.
Usually 100-metre runners are short and stocky, but he's a very big lad, that Cuban.
Well, you look at Usain Bolt, hey? He's tall. He's got everything.
Who?
Usain Bolt. Who are you talking about? We always talked about sprinters not being tall, being able to get out of the blocks quick, but Bolt's
No, you're right, because I mean,
changed that theory.
when you look at Bolt against the Beast, who's short and stocky and tall and lanky.
That's right. It's all about power. It's about leg speed. It's about footwork. Put it all together, and as Bolt does, runs a magnificent race.
But where?
Again, the result from the women's 200-metre T36 final that we had before.
Yeah, Elena Ivanova with a time of 30.25. Korea getting the silver, and Argentina getting the bronze. And of course, while this is happening, don't forget there's field events going on as well. We've got the javelin and with the shot put and the triple jump.
That's right, and some other exciting events coming up this evening. The men's 200 T44 round, where we'll see Oscar Pistorius run. We'll also see some other fantastic competitors trying to get that title from Oscar, so look out for that one a little bit later on the program. We've also got the men's 800 metres for the T37, the men's 100 metres for the T38 class, and the women's 100 metres for the T38. So still plenty of events on the program tonight.
Yeah, Oscar Pistorius will be coming up in about 10 minutes' time, we anticipate.
As we go to the women's 200 for the T52 class, the final.
Yep, again, this is the final, so there's medals on offer. And the USA dominating this, 3 ladies in the final. So this is the T52 final. Michelle Stilwell of Canada is the Paralympic and the world record holder for this event, and she'll be in lane number 4 tonight. Just the one Canadian, but 3 Americans, a couple of Japanese and a Belarusian. Let's have a look at the runners and riders then. Cheryl Leitner of USA in lane 2. Lane 3, Yuka Kiyama of Japan. Michelle Stilwell, world record holder, in lane 4. Kerry Morgan of the States in 5. Cassie Mitchell, her compatriot, in 6. It's Marieke Bervoet of Belgium in lane 7, and Teruyu Tanaka of Japan in lane 8. And we'll be looking for a winning time around about the 34-second mark, something like that. Season's best for Michelle Stillwell, 33.58. But nobody else has got a PB that's anywhere near that, really. 35.68, Kerry Morgan, who will be next to her in lane 5. So again, we expect the challenge really to come from lanes 4 and 5 in this 200 metres T52 final. Is it much of an advantage being in the middle lane and in something that's run on bends here?
Definitely. Definitely, they'll put the fastest qualifier or the person with the best PB in that lane, just to make it easy to turn. This class is 52, so you'll see that the higher the lesion of their spinal cord for this class. So as you can see, there's a lot of leaning forward. They don't have any abdominals. A lot of work coming from their arms, all gloved up. And this is, of the wheelchair classifications, this is the severest.
Kerry Morgan of the States. She has a PB of 35.68, which she ran this season. And there's Cassie Mitchell also of the States. But we're expecting Michelle Stillwell to be a very red-hot favourite in this one. So the way it works with the fastest times, they always get put in the middle lane so that it's more of excitement. I think that the inside lane, you've got a tighter turn, so that's hard in a wheelchair. And the outside lane, you don't. The disadvantage is you don't know how fast everyone else is going.
You're exactly right.
And that privilege goes to Teruo Tanaka of Japan, who is in lane 8. So 7 competitors. We're expecting Michelle Stillwell and Kerry Morgan in lanes 4 and 5. Michelle's from Canada, Kerry's from the USA in this T52 women's 200 metres final. The stadium just going quiet.
On your marks.
They just roll up to the line. Japanese girl doing it very, very slowly.
In a forward position, ready to push out as hard as they can on that first push. It'll be fast and hard for the 200 metres.
So here we go. 200 metres, T52 final, and they're away. And it's all about power in the opening stages. A fantastic start for the Belgian in lane 7, Marieke Vervoet. But now we can see the power coming through from lane 4 from Michelle Stillwell. And look at her go in there. And it's the Belgian that's providing the opposition, so it's Michelle Stillwell is well away. The Belgian won't catch her, the American far behind, and as we expected now, can she beat that record? 33.79, it's a new Paralympic record. 33.79 from Michelle Stillwell. 33.8 it's been rounded up to, and that is a new Paralympic record. Marieke Vervoet of Belgium in second place, 34.83. And Kerry Morgan of the States getting the bronze, 36.49. So it's all about that early power, isn't it? And again, there's a lot of momentum that they've got to build up.
That's right. And particularly in wheelchair racing, you'll see that the times are comparable over longer distance in the wheelchairs, but it is hard for them to get going in the 100 and 200 metres. And as we see a time of 33.8. When we look at the longer 400 to 800s, they're very comparable to non-disabled times because it just takes that time to get their speed up. But girls doing a fantastic job here, dominated by Michelle Stillwell of Canada, as we expected from the lineup.
It's amazing how powerful their arms are, and just leaning forward like that, and the power. And she has a look over, and she realises she's won it, and she allows herself big smile. Look at the determination on the Canadian's face there, as she comes, and that's the lovely little moment where she looks there and she goes, "Yeah, I know I've won it. Look at that!" And there's the victory salute. This Canadian girl crosses the line. Michelle Stillwell, 33.8, new Paralympic record, and gold for Canada.
And a very finely tuned athlete. Look at the strength in her arms. Well done to Michelle Stillwell of Canada, Paralympic record 33.8. And again, with very still conditions in their stadium tonight. Good weather. We were worried of the first few days of the games where there was rain, but couldn't ask for anything more at the moment.
It's always like that in London. I'm a very proud Londoner, and I often see films where in London it shows rain. I can't remember the last time it rained. I think it was yesterday. No, it has been good, hasn't it? I think, and it's got better. And you were saying about the Paralympics and how the Olympics have been such a good build-up for the Paralympics. The Olympics, actually, to start with, the first week, there was quite a lot of rain. I stood out watching a cycling race in Richmond in the rain, but then it really brightened up towards the end. As the Paralympics got closer, the weather improved. Thank God is smiling on the Paralympics.
Back to the men's triple jump. Let's see the progress that has happened while the track events have been happening. This will be a very competitive event tonight. Up to...
So we're watching Hussein Hasanov of Azerbaijan. And the crowd really getting behind the triple jumpers here. What can he do? And that looks well over 13. Up towards 14 even. Fantastic technique. And he lands absolutely spot on. He gets the white flag. You can see he's clearly behind the line there, so this will be a legal jump. Perfect landing to make sure that his body doesn't land anywhere behind where his feet have touched the sand. He's happy with that, and I'm not surprised. 13.74. And that's the season's best for him.
And the moment we've been waiting for this evening, the men's 200 T44, just come on to view. Jim Bob Bizel in 2008 world record 22.62.
And that's a good American name, that Jim Bob, isn't
Jim
it?
Bob.
Imagine I think there was someone called the Waltons called Jim Bob. Now
JBB.
This is Heat 1, but of course it's Heat 3 that we're all really interested in, because that's when we're going to see Oscar Pistorius.
But we have Jerome Singleton in this race from the USA, who will be giving Oscar a run for his money in this event.
So wherever you're watching this coverage in the world, you're watching Paralympic Sport TV with me, Jeremy Nicholas. Katrina Webb, triple Paralympic gold medalist, is providing all the expert commentary. And make sure you don't go anywhere, because Oscar Pistorius, the greatest ever Paralympian, I would say. He was in the Olympics recently. I was privileged to watch him run in the Olympics. And he's someone that's done more for the sport than anything, hasn't he?
Incredible.
But he's coming up in Heat 3. Let's not talk about him now. Let's talk about Jerome Singleton of the United States, 26-year-old T44 competitor. He's got a PB of 22.77. This season he's run 22.80. And he's going to be in lane 6, the American. And there is Jerome Singleton.
He was a silver medalist in the 2008 Beijing Paralympic Games. He's the first man in 7 years to beat his friend and rival Oscar Pistorius.
Now, is it possible that Oscar could not get gold in this? It's his to lose, isn't it, really?
That's right.
Yeah. So let's just compare the PBs, because Jerome Singleton's PB is 22.77. Oscar Pistorius is 21.76. So he's got a second.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a second on him, so you would think that. But this is just the heats. And looking at the Brazilian there, Alan Fonteles Cardoso Oliveira. So we've got competitors in lanes 3 to 8 here. I'll run through them for you. Jack Swift of Australia is in lane 3. Jean-Baptiste Allais of France in lane 4. Ivan Prokyapov of Russia, 20-year-old, in lane 5. Jerome Singleton, we've just been talking about, in lane 6. The Brazilian in 7, and the Canadian Alistair McQueen in 8. You can see closest to the camera. So Jerome Singleton would be the hot favourite in lane 6, wearing the red suit. But also look out for competition from the Brazilian, Alan Fonteles Cardoso Oliveira. I'm just going to call him Oliveira. There's too many names there. Yeah. And in a short race, like if it was a distance race, he could have all 4 bits, but he'll just be Oliveira in this, in lane 7. So they're just quietening the stadium here. This is the men's 200 metres, T44, round 1, heat 1. And off they go, and what a fantastic start from the American. He's gone straight past the Brazilian in lane 7. In lane 6, it's Jerome Singleton running a fantastic bend. The Brazilian, though, has come back on him. Brazilian has come back on him. He's speeded up as he's gone on, and Oliveira is absolutely storming away with it. The 20-year-old Brazilian, I think he surprised everybody there.
A new world record of 21.88.
21.88. Now, his previous PB was 22.45, and I think the reason he did that was because Singleton went past him very, very quickly, and he obviously is someone that speeds up a lot as he goes along.
And he seemed to wind it down at the end.
Yeah.
Olivero.
So there he is. I will do all his names now as he's won. Alan Fontiles Cardoso Oliveira, 21.88 T43 class, and he's won it with a PB of 21.88. Jerome Singleton, all the hype beforehand was about him, and he's qualified as well in a time of 23.23. Now, has Singleton just slowed right down there? Yeah, it's something that we saw the American woman do earlier, and the Brazilian did come very good at the end there, and I think we'll find that Singleton will have to watch out for him, and so will Oscar Pistorius, because
Exactly.
21.88. Just a reminder that Oscar Pistorius' fastest time this season is 21.95, but his PB is 21.76.
Yes.
So on that form...
Sorry, I will correct myself. World record came up, but it wasn't right. PB from 21.88. We're looking at the world record of 21.58.
So there he is, Oliveira of Brazil, just 20 years of age, and he's absolutely delighted. He's pointing to something. I'm not sure what he's pointing at, but I think he's saying that's the line.
He's saying, look out.
Could be. So he qualifies. Jerome Singleton also qualifies in a time of 23.23. We'll bring you the what's happening in the triple jump.
Here's Madeline Hogan from Australia, heading in for the Javelin. Very strong competitor.
Here? That looked like a decent throw.
Should be looking to get close to 40. High 30s is very good for Madeline.
Yep. 23-year-old Australian, F46 competitor in the women's javelin.
And bronze medalist from Beijing, so she'll be hoping to one or two better than that in this games if she does a good job. Better than her first attempt up at 37 metres. Madeline Hogan.
37.52. So we've got the men's 200 metres T44 confirmation there that Oliveira and Singleton are the qualifiers. Oliveira T43 class, Singleton a T44.
So Singleton obviously playing a game of conserving some energy there.
I think he was saving his energy a little bit.
Doing just what he needs to do, which is very smart. You want to make sure you don't want to run the gold medal race in the heat.
Especially if your gold medal race is up against Oscar Pistorius.
Exactly.
He'll be in Heat 3. That was Heat 1. And let's just have a little look at the women's javelin final. This is Picart, Poland. 26 years of age, F46 competitor. And she hasn't walked out the front, so she's happy with that one. And what distance will that be measured at? She's thrown it very high. It's not...
Good flight.
Sticks in the ground.
37.36.
37.36 for Picart of Poland. So it's the second heat now, the men's 200 metres, the T44. Oscar Pistorius is going in the third heat. And we've already seen the Brazilian Oliveira and the American Singleton qualify Heat 2. And the runners and riders, Christoph Bausch of Switzerland, Arnie Furry of South Africa, Blake Leeper of the States, Robert Mayer of Austria, David Baer of Germany, and Ji Tianlei of China. And just looking at the season's best here, Blake Leeper 21.7 in lane 5 will definitely be the one to watch, but Arnie Furry of South Africa has 22.54. There he is on the screen there. Springbok, T44 competitor. And he has a personal best of 22.54 set earlier this season. There's the American, Blake Leaper, 23 years of age. And again, he set his best this season, 21.7. So he's going to be the one to watch.
It's going to be a fantastic final for this men's T44 200 metres. We're seeing a lot more bilateral amputees than we have before in the games.
What does that mean?
Well, two, both sides.
Bilateral means both legs.
Both legs, which is Oscar's class. But even in this race, we can see two of the competitors or double below knee amputees.
And just remind me, T44 and T43, which is which?
T43 is double and 44 is single.
But they compete against each other on equal terms.
Exactly.
So
it's start position.
So Blake Leaper of the States in lane 5, Arnie Furey in lane 4 from South Africa. They're going to be the ones to watch. And Robert Mayer of Austria in 6, also in with a chance. Here we go. Okay. Not happy with that. And why has he asked them to stand up there? Would there have just been a little noise in the crowd or something?
I didn't see. Someone might have been a little bit unsteady. Could have been a noise, or someone might have just not been steady enough. Call it back. Let's have another look. Yeah. So lane 8.
Lane 8 twitch, the Chinese. Jia Tianlei.
Just a bit unsteady.
Just a little bit of a twitch there.
That's right. He was lucky. Cautioned.
Respond immediately. Green card, please.
So the green card is a caution, so he's not disqualified.
Exactly.
But it's if he does that again, then perhaps.
These guys will be nervous.
On your mark.
It's their first hit out. Just got to get this one out. Get through the heat.
Now, I get twitchy now when they start showing the green cards, because if someone gets a red card, and they've spent 4 years doing all this.
Devastating.
Katerina's looking twitchy. She's just had to stand up. She's just had to have a little stretch. Like they do at the baseball when they have the 9-inning stretch in the box.
That's right. But these athletes have done thousands of starts. Just another one. It just happens to be a big competition.
Come on, guys. Nobody twitch. Let's have a fair race. And off they go. So it's Blake Leaper in lane 5, Arnie Furey of South Africa in lane 4, and Furey's gone absolutely storming past Blake Leaper. Arnie Furey is absolutely storming away. Leaper of the States is now coming after him. It doesn't matter, they're both qualified, so Furey will just wind it down, and Blake Leaper comfortably winning that from the United States. The South African Arnie Furey in second, and those are the two that will qualify automatically.
And that was a good example of the double below knee amputees. They take a while to get going, and as people would have seen Oscar competing in the past, they take a while to get their speed up, but once they come around that bend, their power's there, they've got the momentum, and they come home hard, and that's what we'll definitely see.
Now, this is interesting. You would something that you only get in the Paralympics, not in the Olympics. The person in second place has set a world record, because Arnie Furey of South Africa, he's a T44 class, and so he set a world record of 22.57, whereas Blake Leaper beat him, but because he's a different class, T43, they both qualify. But that's interesting, isn't it? That the guy in second place sets the world record because he's a different class.
Exactly right.
It's interesting because you use the phrase different class when someone's very good, and he actually, in this case, is different class, he's world class, but he's so...
Well, it's an interesting one to talk about, because you would assume that being only one side amputee, that you would be less disabled as a person who is double amputee. However, the double below knee amputees are running faster times because it's quite complex. They've got two prosthetic limbs. They're more balanced.
Better balance, yeah.
So, in effect, the 43s are probably less disabled in running, but maybe more disabled in life.
Yeah. So where do you stand on disabled athletes competing with able-bodied athletes like Oscar Pistorius we just saw at the Olympics? Because from what we're seeing there, where the guy who's the double amputee can come past the guy who's only got one leg, that would suggest that he has got a slight advantage.
It's a good debate to be had. Yeah. It's a very good debate, and I can see both sides of the argument when people say yes and say no. But it's one that it needs to be well debated, because having Oscar run in the Olympics, sets a precedent for any disability with who has technical aid. So I haven't really got a position on it. I love seeing Oscar run in the Olympic Games. It was amazing. But it's a good conversation to have because the legs do have energy and store energy. And
so you're going to sit on the fence, Katrina?
I will sit on the fence.
That's good. No, you're perfectly entitled. I'll tell you where I'd stand on it, and that is, I think Oscar's an absolute hero, and I was so proud to see him running in the Olympics. I was actually in the stadium as a spectator that day, and I just yelled as he ran by. I just think the guy's an absolute hero. And I think probably having two blades could be an advantage over having one leg and a blade, but it's obviously not an advantage over two good legs, I wouldn't think.
That'll be the question, isn't it, with more technology? If they start running faster times than the able-bodied or non-disabled, what will people be saying then?
I just think Oscar's just a phenomenal guy.
He's incredible.
And the more you learn about him and how... I mean, he was so competitive with his brother. And he used to run on the beach on his stumps and just had... And because he didn't have legs, his parents would amputate his feet when he was a baby because they said that they would never develop properly. Then he just had to develop this phenomenal leg speed. And that's why he is such a brilliant... So there is Jim Bob Bizzle.
Yep, the world record.
He's a character, isn't he? Look at the
He's a
tattoos, look at the sunglasses.
That's right. But I think Oscar made a good statement, which I really agreed with. He said, if we were that advantaged as amputees, then the thousands of athletes before me that have run, why haven't they made it to the Olympic Games?
Absolutely.
Here he is. He is an incredible, talented, genetically gifted athlete. I do adore him. I think... he's incredible. He's done amazing things for our sport. And his Paralympic debut, he's had practice. He's had a warm-up.
Yeah. And
he's got an advantage over the other guys.
And the London crowd love him because that's a bigger cheer than you've heard for even the British competitors tonight. I think because everyone in the world just realises what a phenomenal character, ambassador for his sport this guy is. He's not just a great athlete. He's just a great bloke.
He is a great bloke.
He's in lane 8. And we're behind him, aren't we? You can tell. We try not to be biased towards Great Britain or Australia, our countries.
Yeah, did we call the other runners in the race? Probably not.
So we've got Skendonia of Italy in lane 3, Jim Bob Bizzle in lane 4, Kanakananj in lane 5, Sato in 6, Fernandez in 7, and Pistorius in 8. Here they go. So it's Oscar Pistorius in lane 8, brilliantly away, absolutely flying. Jim Bob Bizzle in lane 4 going well as well with the red suit with the glasses, but Pistorius, as the bend unfurled, is in the lead. It's Pistorius all the way. Jim Bob Bizzle is also going to qualify, but Pistorius absolutely flying. Is he going to get the world record? He could, Look at that, 21.3. He's not only got the world record, he's taken over a second off it. He took 1.32 seconds, something like that, off the world record. Look at that. And a cheeky grin to the camera.
Geez, cheeky. I didn't think he'd be going for a world record in the heat, but why not?
Oscar
He's been waiting.
Pistorius.
21.30.
Look at that. Absolutely flying. And that is a new world record. He's taken over a second off it. 21.3. New world record in the T43.
So if that's the heat and he's doing a world record, what are we going to see in the final? Look at him go, powering round the bend. This is the important part of the race. Get the momentum out. He finally picks up that speed. He won. We couldn't even see the competitors behind him. There we go. Beautiful shot.
Well, he qualified there with a time of 21.3. Jim Bob Bizzle of the States, 23.64. He's 2.34 seconds behind him.
I don't think Jim Bob would be happy with that time.
I don't think Jim Bob would, but I tell you, we've seen a phenomenal man here tonight. What a character Oscar Pistorius is. He's just head and shoulders above everybody else in his event. The guy's a phenomenon.
21.58, I think, was his world record prior to this, if my notes are correct. So 0.28 of a second.
Oh, have I got a bit excited then? Maybe it was the Paralympic record that I was talking about.
Might have been the Paralympic record.
I don't know, but he's absolutely stormed that. Oscar Pistorius. So if he's... Now, the temptation, of course... There's confirmation of it, qualifying with 21.3. The temptation is not to run your fastest in the heat, save a bit for the final. So can we expect him to win the final with a new world record?
I think so.
I think
But
so.
I have spoken to Evan O'Hannon, who will be running a bit later on tonight, and
He's the Australian runner.
he is, and he unfortunately he didn't have a heat for his event. He's got a straight out final, but I know if he did have a heat, he was going to have a crack at that world record. If you get the right conditions, which I think were tonight, and you're in your best form, why not?
So good conditions would be dry and no wind.
Or a tail. If you can get a
Tail.
tailwind
Yeah.
coming down the home straight.
So this is Gudkova of Russia, 37-year-old in the Javelin, the F46 final. And
It's over 40 metres.
she's been throwing consistently. That could be a world record as well, you know. She
Looked
looks
about just over maybe 41, somewhere near there.
great technique here from the Russian. And she's absolutely delighted with it, and it does look over 41.
Fantastic throw. Through the lower part of the body first. Hips around.
41.08. So that was a great call, and that is a new world record. So we're just seeing the records tumble because we've just seen Oscar Pistorius qualify with the world record time. There's the qualifiers then from all of the three heats. And Arnaud Ferry also setting a world record, 22.57.
In the second heat, wasn't it?
In
So
the
there we
second
go,
heat,
two
yeah.
world records. What a race.
Yeah, they'll be celebrating in South Africa for that. And we eagerly await that final, but I have a feeling I know who's going to win it. And good luck to him, Oscar
Be
Pistorius.
interesting to see whether, when they speak to Oscar after that, whether he was more nervous running in his first race in the Olympics or in the Paralympics. It'd be a nice thing to ask him. Where he'd carry the most nerves, but for him, he's got quite a big schedule, and again, the pressure that he carries just to get that run out. Why not have a go at the world record? Get that done. Done his world record. Now he can just run the final and doesn't have to worry about focusing on that.
Well, I
Just
wonder
needs the gold.
if he thinks, that all the attention was on him in the Olympics, and now he's back with his people and he can completely relax. And the news cameras will be off him for this one, and it'll just be people who love sport and love the Paralympics. So here's the victory ceremony for the men's 100 metres, the T35. And as always with all the victory ceremonies, they'll come out, they'll get their medals, bronze first, then silver, then gold, and then they each get flowers, and then they turn to the right and hear the national anthem of their country. And as we saw, it's the Ukrainian
Medals are going to be
Sarek
presented
who
by
won the
Mr.
gold.
Jose Luis Campo, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee, who is accompanied by Mr. Helmut Schuster, Group HR Director.
I met
for
Mr.
BP.
Helmut Schuster last night at a BP function. Great to
Ladies
see
and
him out there.
gentlemen, the bronze medalist representing the People's Republic of China, Fu Jinhan.
There's Fu Jinhan of China, 27 years of age.
Season's best of 13.12 for this race tonight at the London 2012 Paralympic Games.
Yep, you're watching Paralympic Sport TV. Voice you can hear is Katrine Webb, who's a triple Paralympic gold medalist, and I'm Jeremy Nicholas, watching these live pictures here in London. I do hope you're enjoying our coverage of the games. Just a reminder, if you want to watch any other sports, we do have dedicated channels on Paralympic.org, swimming, basketball, but we're sticking with the athletics here. Here's the South African, 28 years of age, 13.10 he ran tonight. His season's best, 13.02. Been a good night for South Africa so far.
It has been a good night for South Africa. Again, there's his silver medal. Is he going to bite it? No. Nope. Show the crowd. Very proud to achieve that medal, and now it's time for the gold medalist.
And he's quite a character, this fellow. 25-year-old from the Ukraine.
Gold medalist and the Paralympic champion representing the Ukraine, Luri Saruk.
And he's a happy chappy, because all the Ukrainian medalists get a one-bedroom apartment.
That's right, good memory. My last coach I had was from the Ukraine. She was the head athletics coach in the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games. They have a wonderful system, track and field system, to get their athletes strong, and he's a perfect example of this. And now it's time for the Ukrainian national anthem.
Now, I haven't seen a really good cry yet at the medals, but I'm hoping this Ukrainian might be the first one to give us a good old cry, because he looks an emotional man. Here we go, the national anthem of Ukraine.
And a part of their training program is to learn their national anthem. Very proudly sung there by the Ukrainian.
Yes, he didn't cry, but he sang very well. He knew all the words.
Very close to crying, I could...
Yeah. We haven't had a cry yet tonight. But there he is, Tsurak of Ukraine, with his gold medal.
I'm starting to get a bit excited because one of my training partners from back in 06 will be on the start line of the 100 metres soon, and hopefully predicting another world record and a gold medal, and probably the first there for Australian on the track.
Now just tell us a bit about this. It's Evan O'Hanlon.
It is Evan O'Hanlon. He's got mild cerebral palsy, the same as me, and discovered was a good rower, and discovered by his teacher that he had mild cerebral palsy, introduced to the Paralympic sport. Triple gold medalist in Beijing with world records, and now is set to beat all of that again. Back to the triple giant, we're looking at a very fine French athlete who is a hot favourite for tonight if he can pull out a good jump now.
So off he goes, Anand Asumani. Very stylish looking individual. And hot favourite in this competition.
Didn't look as powerful as I've seen him jump, but let's see what the result comes up.
He almost seemed to turn to his left midway through the jump, as though he was thinking, I just want to see where that is, where I would rather have seen him concentrating on going forwards. 26-year-old Frenchman. This is the F46 final triple jump, and that was 13.78. And that's the first of his 3 jumps that has been measured.
He'll be glad to get that one in.
And now this is the women's javelin. The F46 final. And this is Zhao Hongmei of China, 27-year-old.
Didn't like that run up. She'll have time to go back and start again. Something just wasn't right. Here we go, she's focusing.
Very difficult for the field sports when there's medal ceremonies going on and races, lots of different noise. Here she goes then, the Chinese girl, Zhao Hongmei, and again, not happy. Is it the noise, do you think, that's throwing her a little bit?
I'm not sure whether she's not getting her run up right or something's distracting her.
She'll need to get this in quickly, otherwise she'll be timed out. That's a very loud yell as she's thrown that. Zhao Hongmei of China. Enormous yell as she left that one. And let's see what they measure this one at. coming in flatter than some of the throws we've seen. And that's measured at 38.41.
She'll be happy with that. That's her furthest distance so far. Back to the triple jump.
And that was in fact an Asian record that we just saw from the Chinese girl, so that's why she was quite happy. Men's triple jump. All events happening all at once at the moment.
Exactly.
You can hear there's a race going on, so this could well be have been recorded slightly earlier. Big yell as he landed there.
The Belarus jumper.
Alexander Sabota. It's a clean jump. You can see he's clearly behind the line, so he'll get a white flag for that. And we'll just see what he's jumped. It's somewhere near the...
Close to 14, doesn't it?
Near 14, yeah, just under, I would say, in the marks. 13.89, Alexander Sabota. And I think those were recorded slightly earlier. But the triple jump final continues, as does the javelin. And we're showing you a mix of all the action here. So there we are. This is the triple jump result, the final, and it's a world record to China's Liu Fuliang. France getting the silver, and the Belarusian that we just saw there, Alexander Sabota. He did eventually jump 14 meters dead to get the bronze, so that is the result there. And Arnaud Assoumani, the Frenchman that we saw earlier, he got the silver, and Liu Fuliang of China, the new world record, 15.2. So that concludes the men's triple jump. And another world record.
And I'm just checking the silver and bronze. They've seemed to have all jumped personal best, which is a fantastic result. A decent personal best.
Why is it that at a big event like this, you're more likely to see people get their personal best? So is it the crowd? Is it the occasion? What is it?
Well, and it's your preparation, really, isn't it? It's the 4 years or however long you've been training. There's one particular moment where you put everything together. You hope you've got the right system, you taper. You don't do too much in the weeks building up to this, so you've got fantastic energy. And, of course, it's the energy of the stadium, having this amazing crowd. A lot of these athletes would have never run, if they weren't in Beijing, they would never have experienced this crowd, because at smaller meets across Europe and Asia and wherever you compete throughout the year, it's really very small. So a combination of both, but you want your coach to bring out the best of you with the training program, and then you want the crowd to give you that lift.
So this is the gold medalist. Now I'm guessing that that he's now having one more jump. We've seen that he's already won, or I'm not sure if we're seeing a replay here, because we already know that he has won. But it's Liu Fuliang, 21-year-old Chinese, and his first jump, 15.15, would have won the event, and then he did go on to improve that. He had 2 non-jumps, then a 14.27.
Beautiful. Amazing.
And look at that, it's a good jump when the measuring stick has run out.
That's exactly right.
On the side of the sandpit. So we don't know what that is, because it was longer than where they start showing us the measure.
What an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
If he's not the face of Chinese sport, then look out, I think. Incredible athlete.
Just 21 years of age as well, so he's got more jumping left in him.
Beautiful technique. Rolls away. Everything right. Coaches always find one thing to improve you on, though.
So his personal best before today was 14.73. 15.2, the new world record that he has set here tonight.
You can see the men's T37 200 metres getting warmed up on the track.
confirmation that was his world record jump of 15.2, and then he did go on to jump 14.44, but it was good enough anyway because he'd already won the gold.
Sorry, the men's 800, T37. This is the final.
So this is the only real sort of distance race that we have tonight. They've all been the sprints,
That's
but
right.
this is 800 metres.
We're looking at lane 4, Michael McKillop from Ireland, who has run 1:56.74, and he's the man to beat, who is the current world record holder, Paralympic record holder.
Just going a little bit back to the women's javelin.
Has she broken another world record? We saw her break a world record before.
Well, she just kissed a picture that looked like it could have been a baby. I'm not sure if that's code for I've just broken a record, but she's certainly kissed a picture of a baby. So that's Katarzyna Pajkart of Poland, and her world record 41.15. That was just slightly below at 38.51, but she has set a world record of 41.15.
Madeline Hogan from Australia, who has done a good distance. She's getting close to 40 there.
Yeah, 23-year-old Aussie, F46, category of the women's javelin final.
With a PB of 38.39.
And that's 38.85.
She will be wrapped.
Is that good?
Well, of course, over a PB.
Wrapped, did you
Wrapped,
say?
sorry. Is that
No, it's just I didn't know what it meant. Is it an Australian expression?
there we go, 38.85. Her best throw, leaving it to last.
Is that an Australian expression? You're only wrapped.
She'll be wrapped. Very excited.
What does it
yes.
mean?
Just wrapped. You'll be really excited.
See, in the UK, wrapped is what, Christmas present is wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're excited when you see a Christmas present wrapped. That's where
because
it
it's
comes
wrapped.
from.
That's what
Exactly.
it is. And this is a Russian girl. Gudkova. 41.08. Furthest throw. And that won't beat it. She's tiring. So we're just watching the conclusion here of the women's javelin.
So 2 throwers there over 41 metres.
And when you look at them, just looking down the competitors in the final, it's PB, 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 regional record, world record, PB, PB, PB. So everyone tonight has done their own PB.
That's exactly right. And when we talk to kids about getting into sport and saying as long as you run your personal best, that's all you can do, is a great example of it. The men's 800 metres T37 class final just about to start on the track. Michael McKillop, as we talked about before, current world record holder, Paralympic record holder. He's in lane 4.
He's the one to look out for, the Irishman in lane 4. Been a good night for the Irish. If you weren't with us earlier, we saw Jason Smith of Ireland setting a new world record in the 100 metres to become the fastest Paralympian ever. So there's the lineup. Ukrainian Dria in lane 1, Othmani of Tunisia in 2, Charmi Tunisia in 3, McKillop of Ireland in 4, Scott of Australia in 5. No reaction at all from Katrina to that. When I said Australia, I thought it might have been a bit of a cheer.
Oh, I'm a bit of a fan of Brad Scott. He's a fantastic athlete who was coached by my previous coach as well, Irina Daviskina, has a Ukrainian name there, and she's come to Australia to teach us how well the Ukrainians are doing. So we're very fortunate enough to have her as a coach on the Australian shores.
You saw the Ukrainian, there's the Tunisian, Othmani. He's got another Tunisian next to him, that's Mohamed Charmi.
So going off personal best or season's best, we're looking at lane 4, probably to lane 5, the Australian, and followed on by...
So there is
lane
Michael
6.
McKillop, who's got a season's best of 1:53.38, which is a long way ahead of the others. And then next to him, Brad Scott of Australia. Do you think Brad can pull it out the back here? I think McKillop's going to be the big favourite.
I think so. If McKillop runs his race and doesn't get distracted, there's Brad. He is very excited. He took me through a training session about 10 days ago, and he's a personal trainer by trade, and he's very excited to be here. If he runs his best race I can probably predict maybe bronze, silver. I don't think he'll get gold. I think if Michael does everything correctly, he should take out that gold medal.
Well, next to Brad is Majid Dejmay of Algeria. There's Charles de Toy of South Africa.
I wonder if he's related to Natalie, the swimmer, Natalie Dutoit. I'm not sure.
Who knows? Who knows?
There's a question for our viewers.
You
can send us you can follow us on Twitter at Paralympic if you have any comments for us. Visit us at Facebook at facebook.com/Paralympic Games. Visit the Paralympic.org website or watch the many channels on Paralympic Sport TV.
Yeah, there's swimming, there's basketball, there's several mixed channels, and tonight we're just showing you the best bits of all the athletics, most of it live, and occasionally we're just recording little bits and showing you the bits in between. So Hanani of Algeria in 8, Masturi of France in 9. So this is 800 metres, T37 final, that's 2 laps of the track. And off they go. And we're expecting McKillop in lane 4 and Scott in lane 5 to be the early starters, but Dutoy's going well as well out there in lane 7. I say Dutoy, by the way, because you say that, but I've got a very good friend in South Africa who's called Paul Dutoy, and lots of people call him Dutoit, and he says, Jeremy, you're the only one that calls me what my proper name is.
There you go. Lesson for us all. Yeah. Brad Scott's gone out to the front, followed by Michael McKillop. I'll just change the topic. That first 200 metres important. Every 2 minutes, you can break an 800 down into 200 metre segments. That first 200, probably about 2 or 3 seconds below their PB. Coming into the second 200 metres of the race, as an athlete, you want to tend to relax but not lose form. Just relax the body. Probably 1 second slower than that first 200 metres if they're sticking to their race plan. Coming around into that.
So they're about to take the bell, and McKillop at this point goes past your man Brad Scott. Now
that's right. They just want to maintain their speed here until they get to the next 200 metre mark, and then with whatever they've got left, we will see if Brad Scott can hold on. Michael's taking it away. He's actually stepping it up now. Good distance, a good lead.
So at the moment we've got Ireland in the lead, then Australia, and the Ukrainian Dria in third place, and catching up big time here. So it's Charmi of Tunisia is the runner in the red who's stormed into the silver medal position, but I think he might have gone too early. But it's McKillop who's going to win this one.
He looks like he's got plenty in the tank. Doesn't even look tired. A big fight out the back here between the Tunisian and Brad Scott of Australia. I'm going to cheer Brad because I know him, but there's a big fight for him, as we see. The world champion, the Paralympic world record holder.
Michael
Another
McKillop.
title.
Look at that fantastic running from the Irishman, and again it's a new world record, 1:58.90.
And followed by the Tunisian and Brad Scott of Australia. Well done, Brad, in that bronze medal position. Kissing the track. He just looked like he did that easy.
He did it very well.
He doesn't look tired.
You were saying about Brad Scott being a trainer, and he almost treated him like a trainer who he just said, can you be a pacemaker, get me to the bell, and then I'll do the rest.
1:57.22. How many world records have we seen tonight?
Oh, it must be nearly 10.
The Irish will be partying with 2 world records, 2 gold on the track.
Great night for the Irish. Jason Smith earlier, we saw in the 100 metres, and we've just seen Michael McKillop in a time of 1:57.22, set a new world record. Mohamed Charmi of Tunisia with an African record, 2.0145, and Brad Scott of Australia, 2.204. That again is a regional record, so Brad did his best there, and he's got himself a bronze.
Michael can't find that flag. Oh, there's one, but I was going to say Jason took the one before, so maybe he needs to go find Jason.
He's going. So this is the
Look
fastest.
how fast he's running. He looks like he's running another 800
It's
metres.
the fastest lap of honour we've ever seen. He may get the world record for a lap of honour because I've seen at least 4 easily grabbable Irish flags.
That's right.
And he's resisted them all.
Gee, if I'd run an 800, I'd be crawling around. No, but I must say, when you do win, it's amazing. You feel like you didn't even run. You've got this energy there. Look at him go. That incredible lead.
And again, another couple of runners getting PBs in that race. Dria of Ukraine and Othmani of Tunisia also setting personal bests. But McKillop just so relaxed with his running style, and he set a world record, and he was slowing down to do his gesture as he came over the line. Phenomenal to get the gold. Charmi getting the silver. Brad Scott of Australia getting the bronze. Well done. What a great night for Ireland that's been.
Old world record 1 minute 58.9, new world record 1 minute 57.22. I can say he smashed it again.
He has smashed it.
But the Tunisian, a great PB there. His PB before was 2 minutes and 4 seconds 75 and 2:01.45.
And actually, he'd run 2:21, was his fastest time this year. So he's really, I don't know how he's pulled that out in the final. And it almost seemed as though he'd caught up with Brad Scott. And then when he got there, he wasn't sure what to do. And I thought Brad would come back and beat him. But somehow that Tunisian held on for a great silver for Tunisia.
That's a test, isn't it, when someone comes next to you in that fight for the last 100. And, you know, the athletes are exhausted.
Yeah.
That last bend, it literally is like a bear jumps on your back and you just have to hold on with whatever you can find and just fight to that finish line. So well done to the 3 medalists in the men's 800 metres T37 event.
And yet another world record, Michael McKillop of Ireland setting it. And he's still coming round. He's still coming round.
He's going to do some triple jump now. What a character.
And is he lapping some people from a previous lap of honour? From a previous
where
event?
have they come from? No, that's the Tunisian, is it? I don't know.
I think it's the 2 Tunisians, because one of them got the silver, Charmy, and he's running with Othmani, who's also happy because he set a PB. But it almost looked as though Michael McKillop had done his lap of honour so fast, he was lapping the Tunisians. Now, Evan O'Hanlon, we see his name on the screen there. He's the Paralympic record holder. It's a world record for Evan as well. And well, I'll let Katrina Webb, triple Paralympic gold medalist who knows Evan very well.
Yes.
Tell us about Evan.
Well, the bronze medalist we just saw from the men's 800, Brad Scott, is a training partner of Evan O'Hanlon. They both reside in Canberra and train at the Australian Institute of Sport. So they're full-time professional athletes. They're coached by, as I mentioned before, Ukrainian, originally from Ukrainian, Irina Daviskina, fabulous coach. She's got Evan in fantastic shape. He was triple gold medalist from Beijing, and I know he's worked very hard in the last 4 years to even better that result. I can tell you, about 18 months ago, his weight was around 74 kilos. He got up to 90 kilos deliberately, and now he's dropped back to 84 kilos. So he's got 10 kilos more on this time round compared to Beijing to really power down that line and try and break the world record. We can see him on the screen now.
I've sometimes done that. Deliberately put on weight. Every Christmas, I deliberately put on weight.
To bulk up? And then you strip it down again?
Yeah, just to enjoy turkey and watching television and chocolates mainly. But there he is, the Aussie.
So we're talking about T38 is the mildest classification of cerebral palsy. It is my class, so I will favour it as I speak to it, the best class in the Paralympic Games.
So I think I've learned a lot from you since we've been working together. So let's see if I've got this right. T is for track, 3 is for cerebral palsy, and 8 is a high number, so it means it's the least
That's exactly
affected.
right. And with an 8 class, you'll see the mildest of all the other classifications below. So they could be a hemiplegia, which is what we say right one side affected. It could be the mildest of the diplegic, which are both limbs, both legs. It could be the mildest of the quadriplegic, which is all 4 limbs. So you basically get the borderline of the classifications in this class.
So we're just seeing the runners and riders. Haider Ali of Pakistan, Zhu Wenjun of China, that's Edson Pinheiro of Brazil. Here's your man, Evan O'Hanlon.
Come on, Evan.
Of Australia.
He's pumped. He's been waiting for this moment. You can see it. He's nervous, he's excited, he's focusing.
He's the only one with a PB below 11 seconds, 10.88. The rest are all in the 11s.
10.88. Unofficially, he ran 10.86 about a month ago.
Why was it unofficial?
It wasn't a sanctioned event, so it was an official time, but not a sanctioned event where you can claim a world record.
Was it just you with a stopwatch?
No, it was electric timing.
Okay.
Ukrainian here in lane 6.
That's
Mike Tsank.
Mike Tsank. 11.47, and before that we saw Diane Bruce of South Africa, 11.29. This is Chida of Tunisia, PB of 11.52. So we're going to see lanes 4, 5 and 6 again being the ones to watch in this one. Spanish competitor Martinez, 11.8 is his PB, and outside him from the Czech Republic, Patrick Worm, just coming into vision there, and he has a PB of 11.98. So, Evan O'Hanlon, hot favourite. He set a Paralympic record in 2008 of 10.96 and then a world record last year of 10.88. Can he go one better tonight? Tempting fate, but we've seen so many world records.
It's a fast track.
Katrina's really hoping that he can. What makes a fast track?
Well, the surface they create, it's a fantastic Mondo surface. It's got good wind. We've seen the readings tonight have been pretty still.
So this is the big moment.
The big moment.
This is the one we've been waiting for. The men's 100 metres T38 final. Can Evan O'Hanlon become Paralympic champion for 2012? And can he set a new world record? Keep an eye on the time. 10.88 is his PB, which is also the world record. He's in lane 4. We're expecting the South African Diane Bruce in lane 5 to be a competitor against him. Here we go. Perfectly still, and they're away beautifully. Oh, and it's a great start for O'Hanlon. He's storming away. But the Chinese in lane 2 coming as well. But now O'Hanlon into his stride, and he's going to get it. The South African in second place, China
and he's
third.
got it 10.79. I can't say that's official time, but fantastic result there for Evan. He will be pumped. We'll just wait for that final time.
Looks like about 0.09 under the world record. Now he is pumped, doesn't he?
He is pumped. This is how he dreamt it. I was speaking to him about 10 days ago. He could not wait for this moment. He knew he could do this. Gold medal, world record, 10.79. He is Australia's fastest ever Paralympian. Another history-making moment. Fastest ever person with cerebral palsy in the world.
So when you were with him 10 days ago, and I know athletes do all this visualising, was he visualising, was he saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get that gold?
He is, if you want to know what a competitor is, it is Evan O'Hanlon. He loves competing. He thrives on it. He couldn't wait to get out there and show the world what he's done for the last. There you go, straight, fast out of the blocks, the most important part. Striding through, great shins under the body. You really using that foot, going through his foot, back to his heel, using the energy in that motion. Strong arms, driving through the line. His coach, Irina, will be very happy with that. She'll probably still find something that he can improve on, of course. Striving through, a little bit tense there. Looking straight at that time, and he's done it.
Yeah, for the first half of the race, his technique was great. His head was perfectly still. He was pumping well. And then it was almost as though he thought, I've just got to do a little bit more to get that world record.
Yes, I think coach would probably just pick up there that he maybe could relax a little bit on the line, but when you're running world records, he's just a fantastic competitor, and that's what you want to see.
So yeah,
that putting on that 10 kilo, well, more than 10 kilos, worked.
Yes, he put that on, and yet we saw Oscar Pistorius, who's lost weight since Beijing, and he's gone quicker as well. So it swings and roundabouts.
So we had the South African in silver position, 11.11, followed by the Chinese competitor in 11.22. So no one else running sub 11, which I don't think has yet to happen in this class.
Absolutely.
At the next games, we'll probably see this.
Could well be. So Katharina Paikart, again in the women's javelin.
Who we saw throw the world record before.
We did. She's happy with that.
Looks like it's her last attempt.
We've already seen her tonight throw 41.15 for another world record. And she might well win a medal for the best scream of the night. I think that's good. Very happy Polish competitor, Katarzyna Paikart of Poland. And that is
fantastic job.
That is her world record throw of 41.15. It's her fifth throw. She did go on to have one throw after that, which was 38.51. And there's confirmation that Katarzyna Paikart of Poland has won the gold with a world record. Natalia Gudkova of Russia getting silver with 41.08, so not far behind. and Madeleine Hogan of Australia getting a bronze medal. Is that the first medal we've seen for Australia tonight? I think it is.
Well, besides the one we just saw, but
That's
so yes, gold and bronze there. I think 2 medals for Australia on the track tonight. One field, one track, and Madeline and both Natalia from Russia, who got silver, both through personal best there. So, look, this is really impressive, isn't it? The form of these athletes out there. If we look at the results of that javelin, everybody threw a PB, and we talked about this before in other events. It's just showing you the standard that we're seeing time and time again as the Paralympic movement progresses.
So this is the women's 200 metres T52. This is the one we saw Michelle Stilwell of Canada absolutely storm away from the field in a time of 33.8. Set a new Paralympic record ahead of the Belgian Vervoort and the American Morgan. And this will now be the medal ceremony, and I think it's the first time tonight we've heard the Canadian anthem, which would be nice. One of my favourites.
The medals this evening will be presented by Mr. Patrick Jarvis, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
There's a lot of governing board members out there tonight of the International Paralympic Committee, which is fantastic. And obviously the IPC is the movement,
Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist,
the leader that
the United
represents
States of America, Kerry
Paralympics.
Morgan.
And here goes Kerry Morgan from the United States in that bronze position with a time of 36.49.
She's 38 years of age. Kerry from the States. Delighted with her bronze.
Just outside of her personal best, but it's fantastic to be on that dais taking home a medal.
As always, she gets the flowers as well. Silver to Belgium. Marieke Vervoort.
Great effort for Belgium. I was lucky enough to meet Princess Astrid of Belgium the other day, who is an honorary board member of the International Paralympic Committee. So she will be rapt to see one of her athletes win a medal.
I've learned a lot from you tonight, not only the classifications, but the rapt, this Australian expression. Oh, and we've got tears.
And we have tears.
Tears from Belgium. Also, I've learned that you have a very active social life. HR directors from BP, minor royalty from across Europe.
Well, my role here for these games is an International Paralympic Committee ambassador, Paralympic ambassador. So I'm here representing the IPC, and we get to meet wonderful people and help commentate on this fantastic show tonight.
And she's a great Paralympic woman. Michelle Stilwell of Canada at the age of 38, getting the gold medal in the women's 200 metres T52 final. And it's just a pleasure to see the joy on these competitors' faces when they get the medals, particularly the Belgian girl who she did cry, and I do like to see them when they cry.
She's going to be your favourite now, is she?
She's my favourite, but I think if she'd won, she really would have cried during the anthem, whereas Michelle just looks happy. And she's used to winning at the age of 38.
Yes.
She's been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
World record holder.
Yeah.
But the pressure's on her, and that's the thing. It's great when you see world record holders, gold medalists win again and again, because that's hard to stay at the top.
lovely scenes there. She sang the anthem all the way through, and a little tear as well she had to wipe away. I'm a happy man now. I like to see them cry. And well done, Michelle. You didn't let me down, Michelle Stilwell. Paralympic champion, world record holder from Canada. And Marika Vervoort of Belgium and Kerry Morgan of the United States completing the ceremony there. And as is traditional, they will now join her on the block.
It's lovely.
They
They're probably good friends, these girls, because I'm sure they spend a bit of time throughout the year competing. And look at it, that's a beautiful shot. They're all just really happy with their positions, being on the dais. Fantastic result for the three girls. And the Canadians, she can't believe it. She's done this before, but isn't that...
Yeah.
Shows you how meaningful every single event is. Even if you're accustomed to winning and you've done it before, it still doesn't happen very often in your life. And
No.
once you finish, it doesn't ever happen again. So you have to savour every single moment.
And Paralympians, like Olympians, I guess, measure their lives every 4 years. You know, most of us in normal jobs will have a day at work and you can't remember a typical Thursday, typical Friday, but that was the day I won that gold medal at the London 2012 Paralympics.
That's right. And for these athletes, it's kind of like the whole world stops for you. When you live in the village, it's a bit like a bubble. You really don't have to attune into anything that's happening around the world. You're so focused on yourself and getting the best out of yourself that when you win, the feeling that the weight's off your shoulders is fantastic. Now, this is my event. This is what I competed in Atlanta, Sydney, the women's T38 100 metres. We've got the line up there.
So let's just run through those. From Brazil, Jennifer Santos. From Australia, Terita Isaac. China's Chen Zhenfei. Also from China, Zhong Dezi. And then from Russia, we've got Margarita Goncharova, Ines Stirzak of Ukraine, and Sonia Mansour of Tunisia. So just looking at the times there, I'm guessing that the Chinese girls will be the ones to watch with the Russians and the Ukrainians.
Exactly, you're exactly right. You're picking up on that tonight, aren't you? Yes. Lane 7, Ina, has been a big competitor of mine and fantastic runner. She has a PB of 13:49, followed by the Russian 13:54. But as you said before, keep an eye on those Chinese in lane 4. PBs of 13:79, but they're performing outstandingly in front of crowds and might have not shown what they've been doing over the past year. But Ina is a seasoned runner. She's the oldest of the lot here. She's 27 years age. She does have a child, so she's had a lot of experience. I think this is her 4th Paralympic Games and won quite a few medals. So let's see if she can put it together tonight. And there's her main competitor.
Goncharova of Russia qualified in a time of 14:03. Blows a kiss to the camera.
I must say it's a nice feeling when you don't want. There's Ina. You don't really care that you're not in that race. You know that you're very happy with your career, that you're not feeling like you should be in that race. But Ina's very focused. She will be trying, qualified as 13:68 going in.
There's Sonia Mansour of Tunisia. Season's best of 14:40, which was her qualifying time. And wait for the cheer for the Brit in lane 9, Olivia Breen.
We haven't had a great Brit for a while, so nice to experience that loud cheer before the night program finishes. We've got maybe one other event on the track
And she's just a kid, Olivia. She's just 16 years of age. As you can see, she's still got her braces on. And what a moment for a 16-year-old to appear in a final at the Paralympics, particularly in front of a home crowd. So it's the T38 women's 100 metres final. This is the one that Katrina Webb, alongside me, competed in.
That's right.
Knows all about it.
14:1, as you said, for the Great Brit is a fantastic time for a 16-year-old. Should be one to watch for in years to come.
But they'll have to go under 14, whoever's going to win this. Oh, she's had her nails done specially. Look at that. All athletes can get that done in the village. And off they go. And the Chinese girl going phenomenally well there. but it's the Russian and the Ukrainian, but China's going to get it in lane 4. It's Chen. Chen of China's going to get it.
Oh, and now the Russians coming across.
Oh no, Goncharova of Russia just came at the last minute there.
She's done it.
But Chen of China had that one, didn't she? And then Goncharova, how on earth did she overtake her?
Exactly, she can't believe it either.
Where did she find that pace in the last 20 metres?
She can't believe it. For her, this is a fantastic result. A PB. Her PB before was 13:54. She's run 13:45. Incredible time.
I was surprised, but I think she was even more surprised.
What a fighter.
Because Chen was absolutely flying.
Yes.
And then somehow or other, Margarita Goncharova has gone in 13:45. Chen's time 13:53. And then Ines Strizak, you were talking about from the Ukraine, that you ran against 13:64.
Which is a season's best for her. Not her PB, but a season's best. Fantastic times the girls have run.
Well, I can't wait for the replay of that, because it looked to me as though Chen had it won, and then somehow Goncharova has hauled her back.
Yeah, here we go again.
Chen gets an absolutely fantastic start, and she's flying away from there. And then Ina, nearest here, is in and then Goncharova, just watch how she comes through there. She goes past the Ukrainian girl like she's not there, and then somehow she gets past the Chinese girl right at the end. Extraordinary. That's the most extraordinary race I've seen.
She just took some time to wind up, didn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe she got out of the blocks a little bit slower than anticipated. But once she got going, she was technically the strongest, balanced. I think Ina still ran a fantastic time, but seemed to be striding out a little bit. But what a race from Margarita.
Ina with a very experienced runner, age 27, but the
Russian girl striding out.
Russian girl, just 21, just ran on raw energy at the end there.
And these countries have dominated this event. For Beijing, the same. Athens, I know they were up there causing me problems, but fantastic result.
So Margarita Goncharova of Russia with a PB 13:45 to take the gold in the women's 100 metres T38. Chen Junfei of China getting the silver in 13:53, and Ines Strizek of the Ukraine in 13:64. And Livia Breen from Great Britain finished 5th at the age of just 16 in a time of 14:42. So she'll remember that moment for a long time. She'll be telling her grandchildren, do you know, when I was still wearing braces, I came 5th in a Paralympic final.
Hey, I had braces, but I was about 30 years of age, so you don't have to be. Well, yeah, I put them on my bottom teeth when I was pregnant with my first child, and I only had to have them on for 7 months, because when you're pregnant, everything relaxes, so my teeth straighten really quickly. Good
technique. That's if I ever get pregnant, that's when I'll have my brace. But you have lovely teeth, so it's worked.
It has. It's never too late, hey?
Now, when you were watching that final, did you think, I wish I was still running?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. And look, I went to 3 games, a couple of World Championships. I ran in the Commonwealth Games in my own country in 2006, and finished competing at the age of 30. And I think it was probably a good time to finish. As I said, every day after 30 you get old. And seeing these girls run these times is a lot faster. My best was 13:9, so these girls are doing fantastic things. And so they should be. With the sport progressing, I never was able to run professionally, but a lot of these girls do this as their job now, and you'll just continue to see the times get better and better. We're heading in now to, I think, the last track event of the evening. The women's 100 T12 semi-finals we should have.
Now just explain this one to me then, the T12 category.
So you can see vision impaired athletes, and we've got their guide runners with them. So I've only got 4. The reason why I've got quite a few semi-finals is because we can only have maximum 4 in a race. These athletes will run with a guide runner. Most of them. We can see that the competitor in lane 2 won't need one, but the other athletes will run with a guide runner. So the only rule there is that the athlete needs to cross the line first before the guide.
So we don't have runners in every lane with this one. We've got in lane 2, 4, 5 and 7.
And we might see 3 different semi-finals, just because, as you can see, the athletes need to be spread out. It just takes a little bit longer to get through the semi-finals.
So with them being visually impaired runners and with it being in lanes, are they a little bit more lenient if they come out of the lane, or is it up to the guide to make sure they don't come out the lane?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's right. And these guys work together for a long time. They've been every training sessions with their guide. Their guide is crucial to their performance. Even starting together, you should see they'll be holding a tether, or as you see here, that the amount of practice starts they would have had to be in sync to come out of the blocks fast.
And obviously you've got to make sure your guide runner is a faster runner than you are. It'd be no use at all if they were holding you back, would it?
That's right. And you can see we've got male guides here for female runners. It doesn't have to be that way. We did have a javelin result come up before. It would be nice that hopefully soon we can let you know how the men's javelin has gone this evening. We've been seeing footage of it through the night, but we might actually be able to get some results through to you as the women's 100 gets prepared at the start line.
So we saw the Iranian Mohsen Qaidi set a world record of 38.30, scoring 1,011 points. So he's leading at the moment. In second place, Wang Yanjiang of China with 38.23 with a PB, again with 10-11 points. And in third place in the javelin, the men's javelin, Kamel Karjina of Algeria with 26.40. That's a world record for the F33 category. So there we see world record holder
in the qualifying round. He's a seasoned athlete. She's been around for a long time. The French runner, Azia El Hanoui. She, I think she would be up to 3 or 4 games now. A very good career.
So that's El Hanoui of France, 31 years of age.
There you go. World record in 2004. A time of 12:32.
And that's been broken by Zhu of China. So just the runners in this race in lane 2, we've got Kolnikova of Slovakia, Zhu of China in 4, El Hanini of France in 5, and Stefanini of Italy in 7.
What's China going to do here? An incredible result to run sub 12. Is she going to show us again that she can run faster and break this world record before going into the final? Let's wait and see.
So it's the T12 semi-final, the women's 100 metres. We've seen Zhu of China set a new world record of 11.91. Can she better that? And as you can see, each runner has a guide runner. And there's a slight problem here.
Too noisy.
It's the Chinese guide runner put his hand up, complaining about the noise. Is it more important in a race of this type that there's less noise because the guide needs to be able to speak to the runner?
Exactly.
So
I remember being in Atlanta and watching a race where they were completely blind, couldn't see a thing, and the noise, it's crucial because they actually listened to a caller. And this athlete stopped at 70 metres because he couldn't hear his caller because the crowd picked up and he lost the gold. So it's...
You'd just keep going, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he thought to stop because when you don't hear any noise, it means you've hit the line because you can't hear your caller.
Oh, okay.
But the crowd was too noisy. So, it's a good if the guides are not happy. Let's make sure there's good silence.
I'd be inclined just to keep going, I think, and hope someone stopped me. But we'll see. If it was a final, Right, here we go. 100 metres. T12 semi-final. And it's Zhu from China in lane 4 who's away. And look at Zhu from China go. Absolutely incredible. Flying. French girl El Hanini catching fast. But Zhu from China is going to get it just outside the world record. French girl second, and then Slovakia, Kolnikova coming in third place. Stefanini of Italy making up the field.
She just did what she had to do. I saw that she turned off probably 15 metres to go, had a bit of a look around. Thought that's a good hit out. I'll save the rest of my energy for the final.
I've got so much admiration for someone that can run as fast as that when they can't see where they're going. Like that's true courage, isn't it?
Have you ever tried this?
Just running with my eyes closed.
With your eyes closed?
No, I'd be.
I run some corporate Paralympic days in Australia for the Australian Paralympic Committee, and we get people to do this, and it's an amazing opportunity for people just to experience what this could be like. Look at her go. There's nothing holding her back. Unbelievable speed.
So when you were talking about the runner that stopped after 70 metres, I would think when you're running, surely you can sort of sense what a distance is, can't you, by how many paces you've run?
Yeah, but if you're using a caller, so if your coach is your caller and they make this consistent noise, so the crowd has to be really quiet, and they might make a noise like, and so they can hear as they get closer that they're getting closer to the line. And so when they don't hear the noise anymore, they realise this is the end of the 100 metres.
So there we are, confirmation that Zhu of China in a time of 12:11, not as fast as the world record she set earlier of 11:91. And then El Hanouni of France in second, Kolnikova of Slovakia third, and Stefanini of Italy in fourth. And that was the first of the T12 semi-finals in the women's 100 metres. So while we wait for the second of those semi-finals, just have a look at the seated men's javelin,
which we were trying to give you a bit of an update on before. So here we are.
Very difficult technique when you're seated to throw a javelin, where
yes,
the only way to get the momentum is to bend back and then forwards. Phenomenal core strength as well as arm strength, because you've got no forward movement like in Olympic javelin, and great technique to throw it as far as they do.
I really enjoy watching this event, actually. As you've just described, it's incredible to see the distance they can throw.
And there we are, 38.23, and that is a new world record for Wang Yangzhang of China, just 21 years of age. And that, of course, is a PB because it's a world record.
That's right, and this is a combined class. We talked a little earlier in the program about having combined throwing classes, and if you missed that, we've got the F33 and F34 final, so we are off of a points-based system, which around 1,000 points is close to the world record, just as a bit of a guide. Not exactly, but just to give you a bit of a guide. So when we're looking at the different classes, they can then work out how much further they might have to throw to get that points base to put them in the lead. But we've seen athletes...
Because of that system, uniquely in this event, we've got two world records.
Exactly.
We saw that the Iranian Qaidi set a world record for the F34s, and we just saw another one there in the F33s for the Algerian.
And that's really unique to see two world records on the same. Oh, what do we get? 1,001 and 1,011. So just 10 points difference there from the Algerian to the Iranian. Second semi-final of the women's 100 T12 class.
So in lane one from Belarus, we've got Vola Zinkevich. Brazil in lane 3, and again you'll see two names listed there. The second one is the guide, but it's Alice D'Oliveira Correia of Brazil in lane 6. From China it's Zhu Daking, and in lane 7 from Uzbekistan, Mayasa Ibragimova. You're
doing a great job tonight on the pronunciations. I've been a bit quiet here and leaving you to do. Jeremy, you're doing a fabulous job.
You just say the Chinese girl and then
that's right.
Hope that I'll...
you picked that one up, haven't you?
I'll do it, yeah. So there we are.
We'll just stay what we're good at, hey?
Yeah, I think so. That's Zhu of China with the guide. So not all of them have guides then. Can you decide whether to have a guide, or is it if you've got less visibility,
exactly.
You have the guide?
And there always is that range. Even though we say these girls are T12s, there is still a range within that. So some may not need to, and some choose to, or they have to.
So Zinkovic of Belarus in 1, Carrera of Brazil in 3, Zhu of China in 6 and Ibragimova of Uzbekistan in 7.
And some of their conditions may be degenerative, so you never know at the next games they could have a guide.
So once again, the crowd need to be quiet. You just hear someone shouting out there. And the guides will appreciate that if the crowd are quiet. And off they go.
Good start from China again.
It's Brazil and China, but China are going to get this one. Uzbekistan away back, but China comfortable winners in this one. And it's the girl on the inside from Belarus who's, I think, just got it ahead of the girl from Uzbekistan. The Brazilians faded a bit towards the end there, but convincing win for Zhu of China. I think Zinkovic of Belarus just ahead of Ibragimova of Uzbekistan. But China, again, getting the qualification there in a time of 12:52 for Zhu Daking. Belarus, Vola Zinkovic confirmed with a time of 12:85. In third place, it's the Uzbekistani Ibragimova and Alice de Oliveira Correia of Brazil coming in fourth in 13.02.
And you can see now from being the second heat, the first heat we had a time of 12:11. It's important that the girls do run fast because there's only 4 spots for the final, making sure they qualify.
So Zhu definitely qualifies there. And we'll see the full list of qualifiers when we have it, but definitely the first heat was the faster of the two. And there's confirmation of the result for the second semi-final. Chinese girl ahead of the Belarusian, the Uzbekistani and the Brazilian. And again, the wind, as you can see from the flags and also their minus 0.04, been very low wind tonight. So that's why we've seen so many world records being set here at the Olympic Stadium in London tonight.
And it looks like the crowd has started to move a little bit. Few empty seats there, but maybe they're trying to beat the traffic home. At this time of night, we haven't got much left on the program, and but there's still probably a good 60,000, 70,000 people in that wonderful stadium. Back to the javelin.
Men's javelin is the Iranian competitor Mohsin Kaidi, ranked number 1 in the event in the F34 category. There's F33s as well in this category. And this is just a replay, I think, of his world record throw, 38.30. He's a big lad and he throws it a long way. He's very happy with that.
And there it is, 38.30, 1,011 points, new world record for the F34 class of the seated javelin. And again, it's off a point system, but that does give him the lead over the F33 class.
So as predicted, we've got the third of the semi-finals now. I always think semi-finals should only be 2, but I know on track that you have 3. I don't quite understand why, but that's fine. So we've got each of the we're going to get 4 finalists, which will be the 3 winners and then the fastest loser. And at the moment, we've got Zhu of China, El Hanouni of France, and Zhu of China, again with slightly different spelling, one without the O, in 12.52. So
the fastest, the person that wins this one, and then we'll, if any of the other 2 can get in the race, they'll have to beat the time of. Well, let's see what they run in.
Okay.
12.11, 12.34, 12.52 have been the 3 fastest times in the last 2 semi-finals. Libby Clegg, I'll introduce this one because I can say from GB. Libby Clegg in lane 4. Qualifying round, a time of 12.17 is a world record.
And she'll be guided by Mikhail Huggins. Getting a fantastic reception from the crowd. Those that have stayed behind towards the end of this. Begin to see a few empty seats of people have trying to get away quickly. Oksana Botichuk of Ukraine.
And again, she must have 12.24 time there in the qualifying round.
And then in lane 8, seems unnecessarily wide. They could easily have had lane 7, which would make it much easier, so I don't have to scroll up and down on my computer to see who is in lane 8. But it's Daniez Mijani of Cuba. Oh no, she has got lane 7 on her leg, but for some reason I'm being told she's in lane 8. But I was thinking she should be in lane 7, but I don't need to
And
bother
she's
you.
probably stuck it on her leg because they always fall off of your outfit.
Why do they give you those things to stick on your leg?
They're a nightmare to keep on.
So
Just so we can read what lane they're in. There you go, it's for us.
Belarus lane 1, Great Britain lane 4, Ukraine lane 5, and Cuba in 7. And the British girl who set the record is absolutely flying. She did so well in qualifying with the world record, and she's flying again now. And listen to the crowd there, 12.23. She couldn't better it, but you can hear from the noise that the home crowd like that.
And that will put her in the final.
Libby Clegg goes through into that final, where she'll be taking on China and France, and we'll just see if anyone was fast enough in that heat. It was just waiting for confirmation of who came second and if it was fast enough.
It was 12:34.
So 12:34, so that is fast enough to be the fastest loser. That was a very fast heat.
And it's equalled the French girls' time of 12:34.
So Zhu of China in 12:11, El Hanouni of France in 12:34, already qualified. And from this heat, Libby Clegg with 12:23 qualifies as the winner. And Oksana Boturchuk of Ukraine qualifies as the fastest loser, because that was, I think she was dragged along by Libby Clegg.
She got the draft.
It's always good to be in a heat with someone who's fast to make sure that you get qualification as the fastest loser.
You're exactly right. She was right on their tail. Looked like they're both working hard, and they needed to work hard, obviously, to make sure they got in that final. And it looks like it's going to be a good final. We've got Zhu with a good time of 12:11, but the next 3 qualifiers are all around the 12:2, 12:3 mark.
So confirmation that Libby Clegg won that in 12:23. The wind, just as it has been all night, hardly anything at all.
Yeah, not great for throwing. You really want a bit of a headwind when you're throwing, but just so I can get particularly under the javelin. But I suppose it's better than getting crosswinds. If it's still, at least you can work with it.
Absolutely. So those are the ones that are into the final. 2 Chinese girls and a British girl. I thought we were expecting the Ukrainian to get in there as well, but it's one of those ones again where you've got people third equal.
So we're just waiting to see.
Yeah. I'm expecting a small queue to come up as well there that says there's a 4th person in the final, but maybe they've decided they only want 3 in the final. Usually you get 3 big queues and a little queue. But anyway, Libby Clegg has set a new world record, and she's qualified for the final, and looks like there'll definitely be the 2 Chinese girls in the final with her. Very beautiful, the old Olympic flame, isn't it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I loved it when I saw it at the Olympic Games, and it is, I would say, it has to be my favourite. At all the games that I've seen and been a part of, it's magnificent. Here come the boys from the men's 800 metre T37 final. Brad Scott leading them out, the Australian who got the bronze medal, followed by the master, can I call him that, Michael McKillop from Ireland, who broke the world record.
And he was phenomenal in that race.
If
you're with us earlier, I mean, he literally used Brad Scott as a pace setter, and then after 400 metres he said, "Brad, thanks for that, I'm on my way past," and he went flying. And Katrina was virtually in tears here because
this is a good friend of mine as well. He's international. 2 Australians to have Australians to present his medal.
Great moment for him. For those just joining us on Paralympic Sport TV, I'm Jeremy Nicholas. With me is Katrina Webb, who's a triple Paralympic gold medalist from Australia. And most of the medal ceremonies we've seen tonight, she's at least been for a meal with the guy presenting it or the woman presenting it.
He gave me a training session, as I said, personal trainer, about 10 days ago. He said I was still in good form, so that's a good positive. positive remark after you haven't competed for a few years. Well done to Brad Scott. When I spoke to his coach, she said if he runs a good race, his best result will probably be bronze. So she knows her athletes, doesn't she?
He's got a very cheeky look. Has he got a good sense of humour?
He does.
Brad? Yeah, I thought he had.
Fantastic sense of humour.
This is Mohamed Chami of Tunisia, 31 years of age. Set a new regional record for him in a time of 2 minute 1:45.
Senator Kate Lundy awarding the medal and the flowers.
And now there'll be a massive cheer in the stadium. A very popular winner of the gold medal from Ireland, Michael McKillop.
Paralympic champion, representing Ireland, Michael McKillop.
And well done to Michael McKillop. He did about 3 or 4 victory laps. He ran another 800 metres after that race in celebration and didn't even... He still looked like he had more in the tank when he finished that. Probably about 40 metres ahead of his competitors. And rightfully so, when you break a world record at a Paralympic Games to win gold. He will thoroughly enjoy the moment to come. His national anthem and also seeing his flag raised is something that is very hard to explain. That feeling that he bit it. You just missed that. He did the bite for you.
Well, that's good. I'm delighted he did that. I was just trying to find out how many people got it through to that final, but I think let's just enjoy the anthem of Ireland. So Michael McKillop, very proud Irishman with his anthem there, and he was absolutely phenomenal in the 800 metres final ahead of Mohamed Chami and Brad Scott of Australia. And they're coming together now just to display their medals. But it was a great, great performance from McKillop of Ireland. Oh, he's now biting. He is now doing the biting. That's good.
Just for you.
I'm happy. So we've just got one event to go, and that's the women's 200 metres T46 final. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight. Plenty more coverage over the rest of the Paralympics here on paralympic.org. We've got dedicated channels for swimming. There's 2 basketball channels and several mixed channels, and plenty of athletics on this channel. So make a note of where you're watching, and there'll be plenty more over the next week or so from the London 2012 Paralympics, which have been a brilliant Paralympics. I think each Paralympics is better than the one before, isn't it? The movement just grows stronger and stronger. We're just seeing there Mohsen Kaidi celebrating his victory. He set a new world record. There's confirmation of that in the F34 class. And in second was Wang of China, and Kemal Karjina of Algeria came third, but did set a new world record in the F33 category. So some top performances we've seen tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the things we've seen tonight, what's impressed you the most, Katrina? I mean, we've seen Oscar Pistorius, we've seen Jason Smith of Ireland, we've just seen Michael there from Ireland in the 800.
We saw Evan O'Hanlon. I don't know which one. I mean, I know when you're watching your fellow Aussies or whatever country you're from, and you see someone that you've spent time and you've seen the hard work and they've been your training partner, that was pretty special. And I must admit, I was nervous with him on the line. So for me, that was wonderful. But every event tonight I have thoroughly enjoyed. I'm just really impressed to see that PBs are nearly next to every person's name, no matter whether it's been field or track. The amount of world records that have been broken. As you said, each games gets better and better, and thanks for all the people for watching. Thank you for watching tonight. Thanks to the fantastic volunteers in the crowd, who I must say have been wonderfully friendly, giving up their time to drive people around, or to tell you to be quiet in the stadium, or to make sure you know where you're going. Without volunteers, games just don't happen. So
and the great thing about these games is, now that the internet is now across the world, and everyone and people have got fast broadband in so many countries, I think already more people have watched the Paralympics in London than watched the whole of the Beijing Olympics. So it's brilliant, because this sort of stuff won't get on TV channels all across the world, but you can watch it on the web, and that's why it's such a great service on Paralympic.org, that people can see all these different events.
Exactly, I think you're right. The first day of footage across Paralympic Sport TV was more than the whole Beijing Games. So well done to you out there. I hope you've enjoyed our commentary tonight. I've had fun with you, Jeremy.
Thanks to you, Katrina, because you are an ambassador for Paralympic sport. You've been a brilliant Paralympic yourself, with your 3 gold medals, which we've tried not to talk about too much, but I keep bringing them up. You don't, and your enthusiasm for the sport does show through. And I think it's brilliant. Now, I'll let you do this bit, because here comes an Aussie.
Evan giving his mum a kiss. What a special moment.
So this is another victory ceremony. Just remind us about Evan O'Hanlon.
Yeah, look, I was just thinking about that. We found Evan. He's been doing the sport now for 7 years, but he was only discovered in 2005, and he was rowing for his school. And I remember when he first found out that he could be a Paralympian, he was a little bit unsure, because he was doing sport that, non-disabled sport. And after a bit of convincing and seeing that he could be the best in the world and be on this stage, we got him there, and look what's happened 7 years later. And I know this truly means the most to him. This is the best in the world.
And when you said you found him, I mean, was there a mission to go out there and find Paralympians?
Yeah, well, there is. There's talent search programs happening around the world, but one of his school teachers actually knew of my background and was teaching him, and saw him and thought, oh, he looks a bit like a T38. She had good knowledge, and let the Australian Paralympic Committee know, and now 7 years later, here he is. And he's been training 7 years, 7 hours a day. So if you want to know how hard Paralympians train, if you're listening to us, to get a gold medal result, it's not easy.
I bet Evan wishes he'd never met you. When he thinks of all that you put him through, he could have had a nice time rowing.
Rowing head of the river, hey?
Yeah.
But
so there's our bronze medalist from China, Zhu Wenjun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the silver medalist representing South Africa, Dean Boyce.
There's Dean pointing up to the sky. Very emotional moment for him, obviously remembering somebody, and he gets the silver medal.
A time of 11:11, which is a regional record for Dean. Aged 21 years of age, and a wonderful moment for him. He knew what he knew what form Evan was in, so I'm sure he'll be very grateful to take home that silver medal.
He looks so happy to be here.
You're right, it looked like, he's thanking someone special.
He's thanking someone special he's lost, that he's just saying, I wish you were here to see me, and I'm sure you are.
Boys and girls, the gold medalist
And here's Evan.
and the Paralympic champion representing Australia, Evan O'Hanlon.
Now, is Evan a crier?
I don't know, but I nearly am here.
We saw him when he won.
He might.
But he was, he won his 100 metres, and he was doing that pumped, and he's obviously such a big-armed, strong man. But they're the ones that cry,
Yes. We might see a bit of a tear.
When it's the first time we're going to hear the Australian anthem tonight. Will you be standing up in the commentary box?
I might have
Katrina?
to.
I'll join you.
You join me?
Well, I don't think we're going to hear the British anthem, so let's stand up for one of the Commonwealth countries. Come on, Evan, give us tears. It's the last victory ceremony of the night.
I better turn off my mic, because I might sing this song and it might not sound too good.
Sing it around the world. We're both standing up in the commentary box for the Australian anthem. And we did switch our microphones off in the box, but I
Yes.
can confirm Katrina Webb, proud Australian Paralympic ambassador, did sing all the way through, and I just sort of hummed along and I sang out. The only bits I knew was Advance Australia
Well
Fair.
done. You hummed
Yeah.
in tune and very nicely.
And when the camera went in very close, I know Evan's got a little sort of nose piercing.
He has got a nose
Yeah.
piercing. In fact, he was in Clio Bachelor of the Year last year. We have a magazine in Australia
yeah.
called Clio, and he was in that competition as well. So
Did he win?
he didn't win, but you
Right.
know, to be in it, you got to be pretty.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
And do you think the nose
Bad
piercing
looking.
helped him clinch that?
Get him. Oh,
Well done. Well, there we
well
are.
done. And to be presented by your own president of your NPC, which just happened, and Minister for Sport. Again, they're doing a good job with that. They're aligning
Yeah.
the potential gold medal winners with their country
That's right.
representatives.
We've seen Evan get it from the Australian, and we saw the Irish guy present it to the Irish gold medalist earlier. So, yeah. So this should be the last event of the night.
The last event, the women's 200 T46 final. So this is for arm amputees, as you can see from our footage. I think they'll be running fast again. These girls always seem to be, as the games progress, we'll be looking for some.
And 3 hours into the commentary stint, I've now presented with a list of finalists. It's probably the most complicated names.
Do you want me to have a go on this one?
You might have to do
Oh,
this.
gee.
There doesn't seem to be enough vowels.
Unimi Uwak,
Of Nigeria in lane 2, in lane 3,
Alexandra Mogachaya,
very good. South African in lane 4,
Anrun
Liebenberg.
Liebenberg,
Yeah, you're going well. Russian in lane 5.
and Nicole Rodomakina.
We should have done this much earlier. You're fantastic. Lane 6 from China.
Wan Yangping.
I could have done that one. In lane 7 from Cuba.
Oh, okay. We've got Unidas Castello,
In lane 8 from Poland.
Alicia Ferodorova,
That's right. And in lane 9... No, that can't be right because she's a thrower. On my screen it says Katrina Pykart, but I recognise the name.
You're right. Whether
so-
she's...
That's a bogus one.
oh,
so there's-
she's actually come across.
So that's the Russian
She
Alexandra
has.
Mogachaya.
She's left the...
So this is the women's 200 metres, the T46 final. And once again, and as always, can you just explain T46?
Yes, arm amputee. So to be a T46, you have to have lost your arm or be born with your arm missing above the wrist. So the wrist joint, you can't have a wrist joint, as a good example here. Or it may be a condition such as something like Erb's palsy or a neurological condition that may limit your movement so too that it's very similar to an arm amputee. So all of these athletes go through a classification process and in their own country, and then every athlete is internationally classified, hopefully before a Paralympic Games, but if not, they might have been classified here if they're new and get put into this class.
And in terms of personal bests, it's Castillo in lane 7 of Cuba with 24.46. But in terms of season's bests, then you have to look to lane 3, Liebenberg of South Africa,
She has come.
25.79.
She has come across from the javelin. I'm sure of it. She's just threw a world record in the javelin, and she's now running.
Is it the same girl, or is it someone with the same
it is
name?
the same girl. It is the girl.
Well, I mean, that's extraordinary,
She could
isn't
be
it?
we don't have heptathlons in the Paralympics, so there's a good example of someone that could be if we did have this event. We do for below knee amputees in men's, but I don't think there is a women's heptathlon. So let's see what she can do. Is her time
27.21 is her PB, which is set this season. So we're expecting the winning time to be around about 26, maybe just under 26.
Mm-hmm.
It's the women's 200 metres T46 for arm amputees. And they're just taking their marks on the blocks now. Last event of the night. Lots of people stayed behind in the stadium to watch this one. And off they go. And it's lane 7, Castillo of Cuba, who's off to the best start of all. But the Russian Rodomakina also
world
going
record
very well.
holder in lane 7.
So
the
it's
Cuban.
Cuba's going to get this, and Russia in second, I think. She's absolutely flying away. The Russian's coming back at her, but she won't get her. And the South African's going to get the bronze at the moment.
The Russian's starting to tire. Can she hold on? No, she can't. She's
No, she
going
can't.
to actually be passed right on the line to come back to 5th.
So it was Cuba who got that. She was well away there, but the Russian tied up very, very badly towards the end. But a great result for Cuba. Castillo in a time of 24:45. Would you know it? Another world record. And that's where she's found out. Did you hear that squeal of delight? That's what the Paralympics is all about. Just the joy on her face when she knew that she already knew she was the gold medalist. So the squeal was all about the world record. 24:45. Phenomenal. 25 years of age from Cuba. And she set a new world record. Regional records for the Polish girl Alicia Fiodoro in silver medal position, and Anne-Rune Liebenberg of South Africa also setting a regional record in third place. PB for the Russian in fourth. The Chinese girl set a regional record in fifth. What a fantastically fast race that was.
And Castillo in fine form. Her PB before 24.46. How about that? 24.45. 0.01 to break the world record. She's dominated over the last couple of Paralympic Games. An absolutely extraordinary runner. And you can see, you know, even with her her limb being so much more smaller, or her amputation a lot higher, she can still be incredibly fast.
Just a brilliant, brilliant run. She got off to a great start, and they just never really stood a chance of catching her. The Russian girl almost tried too hard to catch her, and then because of that she fell away from the silver position and ended up in fifth. It's almost, you know, if the Cuban girl hadn't gone as fast, perhaps the Russian would have got silver, but because she probably thought, well, I'm not going very fast because I'm so far behind her, she then pushed herself too hard and then fell away in the last 50 metres. But there we are, last race of the night. There's the result.
And why not finish on a world record?
Yeah, I think we started with a world record. We've had them all along the way, and we've finished with one.
We need to be doing a tally, actually. Maybe next time we're on, we'll do a little world record tally, because I think maybe we're on about number 6, but that's just a bit of a guess.
No.
You more?
At least 10.
10,
I think.
Okay.
But I think sometimes I watch them in replay and then count them again. So yeah, maybe it was 6. I don't know. I feel like we've had about 6 on the track, and then see, because in throwing events we've had, you know, like 2 for different classifications. So here is the men's triple jump then, the F46, the victory ceremony.
So we have 2 more victory ceremonies. This is the second to last one. After this will be the women's 100 T38 victory ceremony, and then that should be the program for this evening.
So we're going to hear the Chinese anthem again, because Liu Fulang won the gold here. Arnandus Soumani of France with the silver, and Alexander Subota of Belarus getting the bronze.
I'm delighted to say that the medals this evening will be presented by Lord Sebastian.
It's Seb Coe. They've saved the best till last. They don't come higher than... I'm going to stand up for Lord Coe. What a top man. He's put on a brilliant Olympics and then a brilliant Paralympics, hasn't he? And
He has done a wonderful job, and I think when I've heard him say it before, he was an athlete. He knew what it takes to get the detail right, and he has done a wonderful job for both Olympics and Paralympic Games. What do you go? What's above Lord? Can he go any further?
He's not allowed to be the Queen.
Can you be double Lord?
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just call him Lord Sir and just keep adding extra names to his.
And the nice thing about him being a former athlete is that, you know, he is a Lord, but he didn't shake hands. He gave him a hug because he knew exactly what it feels like to be up there. I used to watch him when I was a kid. I used to watch Coe against Ovet, and I always used to cheer for Ovet.
Did you?
Yeah, because he seemed more like a character and a rascal. But everything that Sebastian Coe, Lord Coe, has done with these games has been spot on. So if he was to run against Ovet now, I would cheer for Lord Coe. But I don't think
the whole world would, wouldn't they?
I don't think that's likely to happen. Here's the Frenchman,
Arnaud. Yeah.
Arnaud Assoumani. Is he someone you know? You talk about him as though you know him.
I do know him. He's been in games with me prior, and don't know him really well, but I knew he was a very good athlete going in tonight. He's jumped with a PB, a 5 centimetre PB. So, you know, you can't be upset. PB and to get silver. And you've been beaten by someone who's broken a world record.
Absolutely. And here is that world record holder, Liu Fulang of China.
I like Liu Fulang. He looked extraordinary. What a very talented athlete.
And his new world record, 15.2 for the men's triple jump. Gets his gold from Seb Coe. Yep, he's going to give him the flowers. And then once again, not for the first time, we're going to hear the anthem of China, the most... If there was a playlist for the most played tune, it would be the Chinese anthem here. Bites his medal in traditional Paralympic style.
You can't bite it though, just have to pretend to, because you don't want to damage your medal. And our second to last victory ceremony for this evening, the men's triple jump for the F46 class. And what a great competition that was.
So we're coming to the end of our coverage here. There'll be one more victory ceremony. But do stay with us on Paralympic Sport TV, because coming up on this channel we'll have a summary of the news, what's been happening elsewhere. And then we'll be going over for a look at what's been happening in the pool today in the swimming with Nick Gillingham, a great British swimmer who's working for us in the team here. He's been keeping an eye on the swimming while we've been doing the athletics. So if you've been watching that, you've missed what's been happening on the dedicated swimming channel, then don't worry, because we'll have all the action from Nick Gillingham in the pool after the news bulletin.
Oh, thanks for joining us tonight, Jeremy. It's been good fun, and this is for you, one of your first Paralympic experience.
It is?
Yes. Yeah. And what can you say of it?
I love it. It's great, because I think sometimes athletes can be very selfish people, but I think Paralympic athletes just seem to all like each other.
You're talking about me, thank you.
I know, but it seems like obviously you have to be so incredibly focused and determined, but there doesn't seem to be any bitterness, there doesn't seem to be any arguing. You know, I see lots of hugging when people have won events, you know, and someone's tried so hard for 4 years to win something, and then someone in the lane next to them just wins it, and they go and give them a hug. It seems a very friendly sport, and I think also you just admire the people so much.
Yes, it's a family. We use this term. Once you're a part of the Paralympic movement, whether you're an athlete, whether you're even a volunteer, a coach, an official, there is something really special about it. And I think when people have been experienced to Olympics and Paralympics, a lot of people will say, if I have a choice, I'll go and volunteer for the Paralympics again.
Okay, thank you very much, Katrina.
Yes.
I've been Jeremy Nicholas. We'll hand you over to the pool, but first, here's some news.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony, the women's 100 meters, T38.
I'm Johan Craig. Welcome to the news day.
There was plenty to celebrate for the Brussig family at the XL Arena as German twins Carmen and Ramona won gold medals in judo. Carmen took the gold in the under 48 kilogram category. She had defeated the European champion, the Russian Victoria Potapova, in her first bout, then dominated over Ukraine's Yulia Halinska and finally beat her rival Li Kai-lin of Chinese Taipei. Ramona had a much quicker final than her twin sister, as everything went her way when she immobilized China's Wang Li-jing with a chokehold in the first minute. Just one skillful maneuver proved to be enough to wrap up the gold medal in the under 52 kilogram category. In the velodrome, Great Britain's John Allen Butterworth won silver in the men's C4-5 1-kilometre time trial. The home team have dominated the track, winning a total of 7 medals so far. Spain's Alfonso Cabello won gold in a world record time.
You know, you look at, say, top 10 guys, and I'm the only person that starts seated in the race. You know, I'm always going to be behind by lap 1.5, 2 laps, and I'm just hoping there's enough track left to kind of make it the ground. So, you know, so far it hasn't happened. Didn't quite have enough room. With a metre or so, I'd probably have had him. The first lap and a half, 2 laps, you know, you kind of so focus on what you're doing and getting to speed. Don't really hear the crowd too much. I heard the bike and the gears and everything working more than the crowd. I think I was channeled in. Yeah, when I kind of last lap, I really heard the crowd and got behind me and I think urged me onto the line.
Football legend Johan Cruyff has been visiting the Paralympic Games. He founded the Cruyff Foundation, which supports sport projects for children with an impairment.
The most important thing is for me is to see the character of all the disabled people who are achieving things where I think I would not be possible to do so. I always think, well, I can't do that. They've got no limits, they just go 100%, and that's why it's so nice to see that somebody who in the beginning can't walk, at the end playing football. I mean, it's amazing what they can do, what the body can do, and what the mind can do. And that's the basis, let's put it that way, to continue in this case.
Brazil are chasing their 3rd successive gold medal in men's football 5-a-side. But Ramon Pereira de Souza's team struggled to score in their Paralympic 2012 debut against France in the Group B will be in action again on Sunday when Turkey take on Brazil and China face France. And the International Paralympic Committee has signed a new 4-year deal with one of its official sponsors. Otto Bock Healthcare's the prosthetic, orthotic and wheelchair technical service provider to London 2012.
When you've got a true partnership, then it isn't just about money. It isn't just about selling Otto Bock products on the back of the IPC and us benefiting by receiving money. It is exactly that. The two organisations intertwine, and the benefits so that of Otto Bock being able to assist us with our development in the future.
It's really like a little bit, you know, I love cars and I love my Porsche. I love to drive it, I love to touch it, but the car also needs fuel in the tank, and so this partnership needs on one side fuel, which is money, but on the other side a lot of empathy, and I'm more than happy to deliver this to our next 4 years.